Welcome to the Pearl of the Desert, the city of Dubai, a modern marvel and a magnet for tourists from around the world. A golfing mecca too, now hosting 93 players from across the Asia Pacific region, competing for one of the most coveted titles in the amateur game. Now in its 12th year, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship has been a springboard to superstardom. Before he donned the green jacket this past April, Hideki Matsuyama won the AAC in back-to-back years. Like Matsuyama, the winner this week will walk away with not just a trophy, but on a path forward with an invitation to the 2022 Masters and the 150th Open at the home of golf, St. Andrews, next summer. Some are planting seeds in countries relatively new to the sport. Others are ready now. 4 days for a lifetime of dreams to be realized here in Dubai at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. The Asia Pacific Golf Confederation, in partnership with the Masters Tournament and the R&A, proudly presents the 2021 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Magnificent Dubai, Phoenix rising from the desert. Very few cities in the world have moved into the modern era as quickly, as majestically as Dubai. Dubai Creek Golf and Yacht Club, United Arab Emirates hosting for the first time this great championship, planting the seeds for future generations, growing the game across a region spanning 11,000 miles. Rich Lerner pleased to be alongside Frank Nobilo, 15 wins around the world. Colt Knost, former U.S. amateur champion and McCormick medal winner as the best amateur in the world, is out on the course, along with Paul Gao, who's played professionally around the globe. He's from Australia. Amanda Balionis with interviews and features. And we'll take you out to the leader of this championship, 27-year-old from Australia. This is Lucas Michel. He's a past U.S. mid-amateur champion. Frank?
Yeah, got up to a great start, but in trouble here at the long par 4. Might just be close enough if he can get away with just dropping just the one shot.
And now some highlights from earlier in this, the second round. There's Lucas Michel at the 5th.
It was one of those 7 tied at the top with the opening round of 67, birdied the second, and then just dialed in here at the par 3. Hits that one close, and that's another birdie, so he quickly got to 6 under.
He's a budding golf course architect with a degree in mechanical engineering. We will detail his interesting backstory throughout this day. Here's one of the better amateurs in the game, Riki Kawamoto of Japan.
And he just pours it in for a 2. So as he makes his chase, up ahead to the 8th hole, long par 3.
This is Bak Jun Kim from South Korea, played on the Korean national team. One of 29 countries and territories represented in this field of 93. Low 50 end ties will move on to the weekend. There is world number 1, Keita Nakajima. He'll be out again this afternoon with the defending champion and 2-time winner, Yu Jinlin of China. Yu Jin trying to become the first ever 3-time winner of this event. The great Hideki Matsuyama, the Masters champion, has also won it twice. And now this bogey putt for Lucas Michel.
And I know our own Colt Knost is out there. And Colt, I mean, this is an ideal day for scoring, but this is a little bit of a tester for the Australian.
Yeah, Lucas Michel hit his tee shot right and was stymied behind a tree, hit a big hook trying to get it onto the front part of the green, but came up short and then flubbed his 3rd. So this is about 5 feet for his bogey.
It's a good stroke. The cross hand, left and low. So now we have 2 tied at the top. Outright lead is gone.
Featured groupings. Lucas Michel inside the top 100 in the world amateur golf rankings. Kawamoto is 31. The number 1 ranked player in the world is also from Japan. That is Keita Nakajima, and Bo Jin of China is at number 23, and his brother's a past winner of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
Yeah, right, you are. Actually, China has been the most prolific country in this very championship.
Keep an eye on Puit Anupansubsai. He plays his college golf at San Diego State, where Xander Schauffele competed.
Well, a little unusual. If you did not watch yesterday, no caddies this year because of the COVID restrictions as we go to 7.
Here's Choi.
Yeah, hit a snap hook off the tee. Was lucky to get through a palm tree. 161. That was a good result there.
Virtually no wind out there, Paul. So good day for scoring right now.
It certainly is. I think the guys are getting used to this type of weather, that's for sure.
Now McKinney is second.
Well, just coming off a birdie. He's had 2 birdies this side to be 3 under par. Just going to the middle of the green. This pin tucked back right, 18 from 5 from the right. Puit's on a bit of a hanging lie here. The ball's a lot lower than his feet. I love the undulations of this golf course.
Puit Anupansubsai showed up, Frank. His clubs didn't make it. Eventually they got here, but was a little dicey for a couple of days.
Yeah, Paul, he was actually playing with rental clubs in his practice rounds.
Yeah, this is the type of kid. He took it all in his stride. I spoke to him the first day and he goes, oh, well, if they turn up, well, that's great. But now he's got his players, he's back in play.
And with more on Puit, the man from Thailand, let's welcome Amanda Balionis.
Well, Rich, you knew I had to talk to the guy that is currently at San Diego State University. I also reside in San Diego, and he was walking on the course with just a wedge in hand. And I said, where are your clubs? He said, yeah, they didn't make it onto the plane from San Francisco. He said, I actually found this wedge on the golf course. I didn't want to play with the practice set just yet. He goes, I did want to wait for it, but he said, it's actually helped my preparation because I've been walking the holes and mentally preparing for this golf course. Colt, I know you're going to find this interesting because you were a little confused by it. He told me the grass here reminds him of the home course that they play at San Diego State. So whether you agree with that or not, hey, his comfort level is high, and it's certainly paying off right now.
Amanda, thanks. He's a powerhouse. He is not a big guy. He's only 5'3", but I mean, he is really put together and strong. Bo Jin at the 8th.
The 8th playing 194 yards today. What little wind there is back into the player's face. He has pulled this one. It's got to go.
Oh, just carries the water.
Oh, very lucky to stay up there.
It's a fairly straightforward chip, too. It's actually on the right level. So a little bit of a break.
Yeah, his
Frank,
brother changed it. I'm sorry, Colt, go ahead.
No, something to watch with Bo Jin today. You saw that kind of pump fake over that swing. Not real comfortable with the full swing right now, so sometimes he stops mid-swing.
Not a hole to be uncomfortable on. Now, Michelle. Actually, hails from Victoria, plays as a member at Metropolitan. One of the famed courses on the Sandbelt. This one looks like a little right.
Yes, it is, Frank. Well out to the right. I believe caught the greenside bunker.
Just managed to be hung up in the right rough. And, of course, you mentioned that mid-amateur, Rich. Actually, Colt was telling me today, I didn't realize it was actually 25 and above as the mid-amateur.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the age restriction for that event.
He played the 2020 Masters, did not make the cut. But as a golf course architect in training, he didn't waste any day there. Getting to better understand all the nuances of the Mackenzie golf course and quite a few others in the United States as we zero in now on Kawamoto.
.194 yards back into a little bit of breeze, and this one also headed well right.
And that one finds the bunker. These bunkers have the very flat bottoms, so if you get close to the back edge, you can actually have a lot of difficulty he's fortunate enough to be away from that back edge. But tricky little par 3. They actually can stretch it out to nearly 230 yards. So the tee just slightly up, and that visual, they see it, and they're more than aware that anything a little left of the center line of this green is dangerous. Green is deep enough, does not look that deep on that tee. Fortunately, the flag is pushed in the back section of the green, but still only 3 birdies at the par 3 so far today.
Frank, what do you think of this golf course?
It's good. It's right there in front of you. Obviously, it's relatively flat because of the terrain around here, but it does remind me of golf courses in Florida, really. Same grass, Bermuda. And also the hot conditions means the greens are a little more receptive and not that quick. They're average about 10.5 on the stimp meter.
Right, and ahead to the 10th. And here is co-leader Baek Jun Kim from Korea.
Yeah, just got it out in 32. So that's 3 under for the front 9. See if we can make another birdie here at the par 5. That's a beautiful little shot. Just flops it up, gets it to land softly.
One of 6 players in the field from the Republic of Korea is making his first ever Asia Pacific Amateur appearance. All right.
Was that just putting the trundler on park? Make sure it doesn't run away.
And now Sam Choi, also from South Korea.
Yeah, I think he's probably a bit lucky here finding the putting surface from where he hit it. He'll straight back up the green this. Straight into the grain, actually. A lot of the guys this week have said the grain is not too bad on these Bermuda greens.
And back to the 8th, and we'll bring in Colt. So Colt, conditions today, the heat and all of that, what do you think?
So it's definitely a little breezier early on in the round today than it was yesterday. Much more pleasant, not near as humid. I'm enjoying it, that is for sure. But these guys are struggling here at the 8th. All 3 of them missed the green.
This golf course could do with a little air conditioning, really. It gets a bit balmy in the afternoon. Already 86 degrees this time of the year, with that humidity getting higher.
Ricky Kawamoto will be first to play. Has a perfect lie in this right greenside bunker and plenty of green to work with. Had lovely sound of that one. That's very well done.
That was beautiful. Frank, is it a little nervier when you have a longish bunker shot and there's water beyond?
Oh, very much so. You know, the short splash out bunker shots, you can always hit a little fat and it runs out. But when you've got to take a swing of this length, and I mean, he actually he got pretty close to this, about an inch behind the ball. Get any closer than that, yeah, you could easily thin it. Look at that. That's just very, very good.
The things the amateurs think about, I love that. I have a feeling Ricky Kawamoto didn't even see the water on the other side.
Hey, when you're young, you know.
And now the Australian McKinney, this for birdie at number 7. Good run. 6 from Australia in this field, including this man, Lucas Michel, here at the 8th.
Has missed his 2nd green in a row. This pretty straightforward. Plenty of green to work with. Actually threw that a little higher than I thought he would, but looks pretty good.
Good touch right there. And from China, this is Bo Ping. This to get to 5.
This was one of the easiest holes on the golf course yesterday. Surprise, par 5. We go back to the 8th.
Bo Jin very fortunate to stay out of the water. Now has a really straightforward pitch when you think about holing. And Frank, this is that kind of tough stretch of the golf course. 7, 8, 9 play rather difficult out here.
Yeah, you'd take 3 pars any day, wouldn't you? And of course 10 the par 5. And that's where we go.
Back Jun Kim now for the solo lead here at the 10th. Just a slight push. Opportunity wasted right there, and he knows it.
We actually saw that with the featured group yesterday, Nakajima and Luchin Lin. I mean, they only had relatively short second shots into 10 yesterday. They did not make birdie there. Now, once again, back to 8.
And this is Bo Jin of China.
He's got about 6 feet coming up the hill here. I talked to his assistant coach at Oklahoma State, Donnie Dar, earlier. He told me this kid is just scrappy. Finds a way to get it done each and every hole. Doesn't let much bother him. Has a wonderful short game, but this is going to test him here.
Colt, you bring up colleges in America. I mean, the recruiting now is worldwide, isn't it?
Totally. A lot of these, there's not many schools around the country that do not have a foreign player.
Good stroke too. I mean, fairly bold putt. Trying to do something that his brother has done. Win here.
This is his second appearance. The Asia Pacific Amateur was tied for 8th 2 years ago at Sheshan International back in his homeland of China. Had that final round 67. Yeah, not just representing China, but Oklahoma State as well. A powerhouse program.
You'll probably be hoping for the wind to kick up then. Now, a tester here. You can see if you look closely at that green, a little change of grain Kawamoto has to go over. Well done.
Ricky Kawamoto. Now you had a chance to talk to Mike Clayton, who has a huge presence in the world of golf, particularly in Australia. And Lucas is sort of interning, working for Clayton Design.
Exactly, yeah. Actually put me onto an article written by John Huggan. Excellent piece, really, and it talks about really what Lucas has done over the last 2 years as we watch this putt. And great save. It involves some bulldozer work.
So he's getting an apprenticeship.
Exactly. Well, he already has a master's, actually, but that's in mechanical engineering. But, yeah, so he has that eye. He's been around a lot of good golf courses. I mean, I applaud you, really. Look for John Huggan's article on it. It's well detailed. His background, as I referenced, Metropolitan Golf Course, that's where Mike Clayton played his amateur golf as well. So
John is here, by the way. Golf Digest, Google, he's putting out some excellent articles. Lucas, we mentioned, has already played the Masters. Frank, just so much to play for. This is what they all call the carrot, or it's a nice salad here, that's for sure.
It was something that, I hailed from this region. It was certainly not available for me all those years ago. Chance to go down Magnolia Lane. We know that. Go and play at St Andrews as well, and of course the amateur at Royal Lytham and St Anne's. I mean, 3 tremendous venues, and hard to find 3 bigger championships.
Yeah, it's a life changer.
Now the slight dogleg right, par 4 9th. Jen?
Very narrow fairway, some 18 yards wide where these players hit it. Finding the fairway is very crucial.
Just the way they wind up, Frank. I mean, the turn.
Yeah, there's a sense of freedom as it just escapes one of the 2 bunkers down the right side. Yeah, there's a sense of freedom that you see in all the players. The chase for club head speed. I don't blame them. I think if we'd all had our time again, Colt, we'd all be doing the same thing. Grip it and rip it.
I grip it. I never ripped it. Just a beautiful swing there from Lucas Michel.
a little Adam Scott in that swing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. And by the way, though he is apprenticing as an architect and has plans to someday design golf courses, he is talking about turning professional as well. 27 years old.
Yeah, there was one thing, talking to some of the players this week, not to harp on COVID, but because this event was not held, I mean, losing 2 years in an amateur's career, to watch Kuramoto, I mean, that's a lot really in that developmental time. If they had won this event, they would have got to sort of had another season to decide whether they're good enough to make that plunge.
Fully loaded right there, and let it go. Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
Strides his way down the ninth. Just back to the par 3. McKinney at the 8th.
Yeah, Frank, this is just playing straight back into the breeze. The east at the moment. You've got to flight the ball. Actually keep the ball down. And this is a nice one, this one. Straight at it.
Oh, superb, Paul.
Geez, I've been impressed with his ball flight. You know, he's downwind, he's thrown it up in the air, and into the wind, he's really flattened it out. That takes a bit of skill.
It's pretty hard to flatten that building out. There's Khalifa, excuse me, world's tallest building. Just around about 2,800 feet. It's about a half a mile. It is fantastic. And Amanda and Colt actually went up there a couple of nights ago. They did find their way home. And that cityscape, it was almost non-existent 20 years ago across the creek, which originally was just some 9 miles long. That's been extended now, so basically goes from the Arabian, the Persian Gulf, in and back, around again. Average depth about 20 feet. Of course, nearly a couple hundred years ago, this was a fishing village. And the architecture, Brian Johnson designed that clubhouse, the English architect.
Now at the 11th, 20-year-old from China who's a junior at the University of Washington, Bo Peng.
Well, not a long shot in for a second, but the Bermuda rough is a little fluffy, so that is beautifully judged.
That is the shot of the day so far. Now Sam Choi at the 8th.
Yeah, this is 194 back into. It's hard to get this ball back, but this one looks pretty good in the air. He's getting it. Well, this looks like it's going to get all the way to the back there.
Oh, that's 3 good shots there.
Yeah,
Paul.
they're great shots from the group in front that made it look hard. These guys have made it look really easy.
And now Kim at the 11th.
That's a big drive. Slight dogleg right. He's taking it all the way down there. Just a little flick. Seeing too many players actually hit driver off the 11th. So not happy with that second.
And now we're live at number 9. It's Bo Jin.
Bo Jin has a pretty good lie in the right rough, 115 yards. I mentioned, last year, his freshman year, he ended the season with 3 straight runner-ups at conference, regionals, and NCAAs, then kind of lost his way with his golf swing. But his coach, Donnie Darr, believes he is very close to turning this thing around.
A bit of a false start.
He does that quite a bit, Frank. It'll be something to watch throughout the week.
Well, it won't be too bad.
Jin currently 3 under, 2 shots back of the lead. There were 7 players tied for the lead after 18 holes at 467, most ever in this championship. Now Kawamoto.
111 yards out of the left rough. Perfect angle. Oh boy, that one gets away from him.
And that is a flyer.
Now Michelle.
Was very fortunate not to catch the right fairway bunker. 107 yards, pretty clean lie. Frank, this rough's not very deep out here, but it's that length where you can catch some flyers.
Just prior to that previous shot, I was just about to say we haven't seen too many.
Oh,
another
gorgeous shot. He comes in with some form. Won a mini tour event in England at the Harry Colt designed Calcutta Park last week. And that golf course, by the way, will be renovated by Lucas's boss, Mike Clayton, with Mike DeVries and Frank Pont.
Yeah, they're doing some excellent work around the world. Go to 16.
Thunyapat Sukur from Thailand. Yeah.
That must have been about the 7th 2 we've seen today over the golf course. These boys are eating up the par 3s, and they're not that easy.
Did he just raise the putter like Jack in 86 on 17? Maybe. Yes, sir. It's early. It's early for a yes, sir.
You're going Vern this early in the day?
It's early for a yes, sir, but he gave it to us. Now, Choi, this to get to 5 and tie the lead.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with this putt. But dead straight down here.
Well, that's a yes, Choi.
Well, that was, you know, as it sort of trickled, that really was the kind of maybe.
Yes, Choi.
Sir. Who's had more great calls across the world of sports than Vern? Can't think of many.
Now, the short par 4, the 11th. A good effort, so he will remain tied. Rich, we had a record yesterday, 7 players tied for the lead. So it shows you how much more congested it's got. A dozen years. More and more good players. We have 4 tied at the moment. Penn can make it 4 tied. There we go. 4 players at 5 under.
Yeah, 2 from South Korea, China and Australia at 5 under par, and now we're at the 9th.
Coming downhill but back into the wind, so should help him slow it down a little bit.
You can see you got that high on the blade. That's why there's nothing on its center of gravity.
That ball was sitting up rather high in the rough, easy to do.
Yeah.
McKinney hit a really pretty shot to this spot now to get to 4. No problem. Born in Scotland, now in Australia.
Colin, I would have thought this is fairly straightforward for Jin.
It is, Frank, and these young players, they just have no fear at all. I would have been pulling out the putter from here with it being straight downhill. But these guys, they love to chip whenever they can.
And as you get older, Colt, can't wait to put that putter in your hand.
I would have been carrying the putter up from the fairway.
40, 50 yards off the green. Can I bump this one in there with a putter? 90, Sam Choi, co-leader.
Yeah, the dog leg right to left. He has to guard against the left side. He had the little low look hook. He had the little low left shot going. But coming off a birdie there, heads back up. It's a good setting back here, going back into that marvellous clubhouse.
Quite a clubhouse, isn't it, Frank?
Well, 3 levels. Yeah, it's in the food. Yeah, food is majestic.
Yeah, we have not had one bad meal since we've been here. Everything superb.
And that park high, you know, the the clash of architecture. You know, you've got sort of modern, the Bedouin style as well.
It's funny, Frank, how I'm trying to lean into the architecture here. You went right to the buffet.
Well, I've been trying to drag you away from that already for a number of days.
His food has been as good as the architecture.
There's a bit of food for thought on this one for Kawamoto.
Yeah, a lot more work left than he thought he would have. This is about 8-9 feet coming down the hill.
Good save. Avoids 3 straight bogeys. After the nice birdie, McKinney at the 9th.
Well, pretty sound golf swing this one, but you need to manoeuvre the ball left to right off this tee shot. Bunker's guarding the right side. Wow, that one's heading a little left. But he is 4 under par, the young Australian, 19 years of age.
And another Aussie, Lucas Michel.
Been very impressed with his game so far. Just swings it beautifully. Really controlled that ball nicely out of the right rough. Great look for birdie here. Oh, curls it in.
So Lucas Michel out in 2 under 33, and now yet again with a solo lead. We've had a couple of Australians win this championship, Frank.
They have him. Curtis Luck winning in Incheon, South Korea, when he was the number 2 ranked amateur in the world. As we watch Jin clean up there at 9. Nice tidy front 9.
So, little geography lesson. Dubai is the most populous city in the United Arab Emirates. It is the capital of the Emirate of Dubai, one of 7 emirates or states in the UAE, each with its own government. The eastern part of the Arabian Peninsula on the coast of the Persian Gulf. Thriving business hub of Western Asia. Abu Dhabi to the south. And it's become a golfing hub as well. Be a really busy stretch in the next couple of months, really the next 2 weeks. European Tour will finish its season with 2 straight tournaments in Dubai over 2 courses at Jumeirah Estates. Here at the Dubai Creek Golf and Yacht Club, Carl Whitten gets the credit back in 1993.
He certainly does. And then Thomas Bjorn came in. Thomas actually lived in Dubai for a little while. They did a good job getting ready. The club as well, too. They got the go-ahead with us with 100 days to go, and they had to redesign a lot of the tees there. We'll look at 6 there, the floating tee box on there. It's beautiful vistas around this golf course, too, with the cityscape and the distance. But
well, you get the clubhouse behind you here at 10 and view from many parts of the course. World's tallest building, for example, as you stand on that 5th tee, Burj Khalifa.
This par 5 certainly gettable, but we actually saw some players hit 3-wood here yesterday.
I'm actually surprised Lucas Michel's not going with 3-wood, Frank. It is straight downwind at the moment. This one headed well left. There is a waste bunker down there.
Yeah. In the bunker.
And hopefully not too close to the lip. Back to the 9th.
Connor McKinney.
Well, coming out of the left right rough here, you have to navigate between the 2 palm trees to a false front here. Sort of down breeze too.
Back at 10. Bo Jin.
And that's a 3-wood for Bo. Headed up the left side. Should be just fine.
The reason why we talk about 3-wood here down breeze, the water, if you keep it down the right side, it comes in just over 300 yards, and you can still certainly get home from there. Same club here.
love this golf swing. Just looks like effortless power. It creates a lot of speed at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a good motion. And that's fine. He will be able to reach from there.
You watch one swing after the next, Frank, and all I can think about as we go to Choi at number 9 is there are more good players coming from all parts of the globe these days than ever before.
Yeah, Cho coming out of the rough here, only 141, and he's got hold of that one. It's going to fly a little bit too far back into this breeze.
Well, yeah, the coaching, I mean, they had the first academy in UAE was actually in Dubai on this very, very golf course. Forward to 12. Fairly straightaway par 4.
Back Chung Kim from Korea. So Kim is one of 3 players at 5 under par. The leader right now here in Dubai is Lucas Michel. Wants to build golf courses. They build magnificent skyscrapers here in Dubai, that's for sure.
Golf relatively new in this area. The first golf course per se was actually built in 1976, actually in Abu Dhabi, and it wasn't until 22 years later that golf course was actually grassed. So the first grass golf course in Abu Dhabi, 1998 there, as well as here. This golf course being redesigned, and when you look at pictures from really when golf was first in this area, the city's completely been transformed. Now one of the big tourist regions of the area. We mentioned yesterday the second most 5-star hotels of any city in the world reside here. Just over 3 million people, but normally 4 million people during the course of any working day. So a lot of people commuting to work. And it's just beautiful, really, when you look at that. The creek that runs through was extended. It's nearly 18 miles of waterway goes through. Fishing, they still have that. This used to be an old, the pearl industry was big before oil became a big part of the region, but now that's only really 1% of Dubai's GDP at the moment. But when they built the golf course, junior golf too was paramount. They built an academy here for both boys and girls to develop the game. And all the infrastructure still built around. So parks, buildings, tallest in the world.
Now at the 12th hole alongside that Washington Husky purple bag, this is Bo Peng. Kind of shots that have Bo Peng deep into red figures. 5 under and 1 back. Now at the 9th, Sam Choi.
This is a difficult one, straight down the grain here and downhill. He's going to have to be careful with this. He's a big man with a lot of touch.
Tenth hole.
Bo Jin's going to be first to play. Has 271 yards to the hole. This pin located just 6 paces on the front edge of the green. And he's pulled a head cover, Frank. Looks like he's going to give it a go, but with the backstop, I'm kind of surprised he doesn't just lay up to a nice, comfortable wedge number.
Yeah, we can barely see the top half of the golf ball.
Yeah, it's definitely sitting down. Going to come out with very little spin. There's no layup in these young kids, though.
Second time we've seen him do that.
He's making me nervous. If he didn't get all this, I mean.
I believe that one caught the front greenside bunker, which should be in a great spot.
It did, and then just popped out, Cole. No. So not too bad. Chance to get up and down, make a birdie.
To be fair, that's a result. A lot of things could have gone wrong there. Forward to the 12th.
Back Jun Kim.
Up a rise, then down a hill. It's the up part, now the down part. Lovely touch.
At the 10th, Lucas Michel.
Has just 235 yards left. Got to get it up a little quicker than he'd like. But that's just going to be a layup for Lucas Michel.
Now, I wonder with all his sort of golf course architecture, whether he goes around a golf course thinking, I wonder why they put the bunker there, maybe I'd push it there. Back to the 9th.
And McKinney.
Yeah, a little tricky one here. These kids chip very well these days, but he's got to be just coming out of that first cut of rough.
Oh, they chip great.
Oh, that is too good.
How about that? Connor McKinney. 10th hole, Kawamoto.
239 hole, 233 front. This one headed at the left edge of the green.
All right, he'll play pitch and putt from there. Okay, now Bo Ping at the 12th. This to get to 6 under and tied for the lead.
Should be just a right edge putt.
Yeah, has it.
In the heart.
Okay, so Bo Pang, back-to-back birdies to get to 6 under, tied with Lucas Michel. Second round of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Trying to make it back-to-back winners from China. Now from Thailand, Sukur.
Yeah, one of the shortest par 4s on the golf course. Chance to get to 5 under.
Trying to become the first from Thailand to win the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Well, for more information, championship video, live stats, go to aacgolf.com. This is broadcast streaming as well at aacgolf.com around the world. This can be seen in more than 150 countries. Tokyo Broadcasting System in Japan, Supersport South Africa, Sky in the UK and New Zealand, ESPN Latin America and the United States, SBS in Korea, and all across Europe and China as well. Biggest global audience for any event in amateur golf.
Well, after a nice layup here at 10, Lucas Michel. Just wait for those players walking over the back there towards the 17th green, which is on the right of this 10th.
And Frank, you mentioned the course design that Lucas is involved in. My question is, when he designs his own course, does he design it to fit his game? You know, I've played Grove 23 back in Florida, that Michael Jordan's golf course, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, all the driving distances they're just exactly for Michael Jordan, aren't they? For no one else.
That's why it's nicknamed Slaughterhouse 23. That a sand wedge on the way from 102 yards. Oh, yeah, go in.
A little bit of spin, it would have. So a chance for the outright lead. Here's that putt to get to 7 under.
And seeing why Lucas Michel won the 2019 U.S. Mid-Amateur. This was some shot from Connor McKinney of Australia.
That'll grow on you just like that moustache. What a great chip.
So McKinney's at 5 under. He goes out in 4 under 31. Good one here in Dubai, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
67 was the low round on day one. There was 7 of those. There's a chance that score should be lowered today with the standard of golf. We are already seeing too tight at the top. An Australian and Bo Peng from China, who's just gone birdies at 11 and 12 to be tied at 6 under. Still yet to tee off the world #1 amateur, Kato Nakajima, and he will play alongside Yuchen Lin, 2-time champion, who just turned 21 just over a month ago. He is vying to become the first ever to win this championship 3 times. 29 countries are represented, 93 players in the third. 93 players, excuse me, in the field. And that's one of the groups that we're all got our eyes on. Yuchen Lin, opening round of 67, one of the 7th, tied alongside the #1 ranked player in the world, Rohan Dola Patel. He actually rallied extremely well, I think, to shoot that round of 72. Had a good finish yesterday. Had trouble with the putter in the middle of the round. And get that going today, might just be able to chase the 2 that he's playing alongside. But this championship started on Wednesday, will conclude on Saturday on a golf course that has seen some of the best players in the world compete in professional events. The Dubai Desert Classic was held here in 1999 and 2000. This week plays host to some of the game's best amateur players.
And back at the 10th, third shot, now par 5, Riki Kawamoto of Japan.
Came up quite a bit short with his approach. This one very difficult, not much green to work with.
So the field reduced somewhat because of the impact of COVID, and it really hit this part of the world exceedingly hard. But 29 different countries and territories, India with the most, and the defending champion is Yuchen Lin of China. The 2020 AAC was canceled due to the pandemic, and this marks the first ever edition held in the UAE. Youngest is 15, the oldest is 63 years young, and there are 58 first-timers in this field. And now the third for Bo Jin.
Caught a great break for the ball to roll through that bunker. Pretty straightforward chip here.
Didn't like that from the start.
No, that was not his best.
Now Sakur at 18.
This was the hardest hole on the golf course yesterday, going back into the breeze. Hole today also cut on the left side. Wonderful shot right over the top of it.
Frank, we talk about investing in the game and what the R&A and the Masters tournament have done. As we take you back to 10 and the birdie putt for Bo Jin.
Slow one coming up the hill. Should break a little bit to his left.
So poor chip, poor putt. The Masters tournament, Frank, and the R&A pay for all of the travel and lodging expenses. All 93 players. They did not want money to be a roadblock in the development and growth of the game.
Yeah, they're both too investing in this area too, trying to push the countries, the respective countries that are invited, to develop more and more junior programs. But it's huge. I remember Peter Dawson, when he was head of the R&A, had sat down with him many occasions over the last decade on the amount of money that put into the area. The only way to grow it is to invest, and that's what they both have done.
Yeah, the R&A chief executive Martin Slumbers has said that it's about presenting these amateurs a chance to play a world-class golf course set up properly, and for the top of the field it's about how they fare, guys like Kawamoto. For the bottom half, they see what they need to improve upon. Birdie putt, Kawamoto just slides right.
And there is also, to be fair, a difference in attitude. Before, the amateur golf was very separate from the professional game. And now, really, I know the New Zealand Golf Association, for example, they embrace the fact that amateurs will turn professional. That it's very important that we bridge the two together as opposed to have them separate.
Now Lucas Michel. And Colt, he's 27. That's relatively late to be thinking about turning professional. What do you think about where he's at?
No doubt about it. It's kind of surprising that he's still talking about turning professional at this age. You know, going into golf course design, and I felt we were talking about it this morning at breakfast. It just feels like 27 is rather late to get started, but man, he's got a lot of game.
Well, 7 under par, and once more back in the solo lead. Yeah, you love this. We always talk about it's a game for a lifetime, Frank, and there you go. Kul Rashid from Lebanon is 63 years old. This is his 8th appearance. And then a young man, Rohizam, is just 15 years old, making his first ever appearance. I was out in the practice round. I saw 2 gentlemen from Iraq. The one fellow was 60 years old. And just loving the opportunity to be here. Mix it up with all these great young players.
Lucas Michel, who now sits on top all by himself.
And I believe he's pulled driver, Frank, which is really surprising. Most players here just lay up short par 4, just try to get a wedge in their hand. But every hole I've seen him play so far today, he has sent the driver.
Previous tee shot went left.
This one very high, headed up the left side of the fairway, should be just fine.
How do you like that swing, Frank?
Well, I love the follow through. It's like there's a touch of Adam Scott. The freedom that we see with a lot of players. I mean, that's the beauty. I think if you've got a young child you want to get into the game of golf, you want them to take as big and as free a swing as possible. So they say, learn to at least develop those muscles. You can always straighten it out later in your career. So this 11th hole, very gettable today, 10 birdies.
Bo Jen going with less than driver. No hesitation in that one.
Frank, in what other ways is the amateur game different than when you were coming through the ranks in New Zealand?
Well, one of the things I think is that what used to be a separation is now a joining. The fact that we are developing players to get to the finished product, which means that we want them to turn pro if they're good enough. That's the biggest thing. It's not a separation of powers like it used to be. And the other thing I'll say about the players themselves is the techniques. The internet, I think, has been absolutely huge, especially in this area. They don't always get access to the best players in the world. They wouldn't have seen Tiger Woods play to speak in that. But when you have access to all that footage, all the great coaches of the world, you can go on their websites. You can be taught golf in any country in the world through that access.
Now for a rare birdie at 18, Sakur from Thailand to get to 5 under and drips it in. So Tunyapat Sakur, 69-68. That's a 3 under on today's round. And a good start, lots of smiles. They're trying to run this man down. Lucas Michel played some beautiful golf, 4 birdies today, and he leads at 7 under par in the 12th edition of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
So an Australian sits at the top, vying to be the 3rd Australian to win this championship. The first happened at Royal Melbourne back in 2014, Antonio Murdaka. And that was followed up in 2016 by Curtis Luck, who was then the reigning US amateur champion. He was to win at the Jack Nicklaus Golf Club in Incheon in South Korea. So they've had 2 champions already in this event. Just a very narrow lead of 1 shot. Out in 32, 33, that birdie at the 10th hole. And actually in good position at the short par 4 11th to perhaps get another one. Push it to 8 under par. So he makes his walk down there. What a background. A love of the game in many aspects. Mentioned the fact was driving a bulldozer for Gil Hands. Golf courses seeing it from a different perspective. hails from the Sandbelt and Victoria. And they have some magnificent golf courses. Yarra Yarra, Royal Melbourne, Kingston Heath. And my first experience was Kionga Golf Course, Kingswood, actually, Kingswood, and also in the suburbs of Melbourne. So brought up on lightning fast greens, firm conditions.
Trying to make it 3 birdies in a row. Connor McKinney.
Yeah, only coming in from 101. There's a big backstop here. That's going straight at it. This young kid is flighting his ball beautifully. Great shot.
Yeah, birdies at 4, 6, 8, and 9. Good chance at the 10th. Now Choi.
We're going on a similar line, maybe a little bit left here with Choi. Wow, all these shots that are coming into the green are just sticking. They're not spinning at all, Frank.
Yeah, green's very soft, that's for sure. There's a little bit of water. They use reclaimed water here, just in case people are interested in that. Now, to the 11th.
Bo Jin just missed the fairway, but has a perfect lie, 124 yards. And Frank, if he's somehow in contention on Saturday, that's going to be very interesting to watch. He is not comfortable with the full golf swing right now.
Well, he likes it.
As he should. Beautiful shot.
Comfortable on that shot. That really high finish.
He's got some long levers, that's for sure. I don't remember his brother being that tall.
Lucas Michelle with a perfect tee shot, 100 yards off a slight upslope. Green light all the way here. He's pulled this one, needs to get down. It's a big mistake from there.
Michelle continuing to lead by 1 at 7 under. Now McKinney for a 3rd straight.
Well, coming straight down the hill, 3 in a row. You think, well, I don't want to get him my own way.
Never had a chance.
Oh, no, that was really tentative. He's hit some really good putts today, but that's not one of them.
So that's a par here at the 10th and a disappointing one. Gettable par 5. And back at 11, Ricky Kawamoto.
How about this tee shot? 54 yards. Just a little flick into this green. I don't think we're going to see many tee shots where he hit it.
Now at 13, Bo Ping.
This par 5, actually the easiest hole on the golf course today. So I just thinned that.
2 biggest stars in this field grouped together, yet to tee off in this second round. Yujin Lin and Keita Nakajima. Now Choi, oh yes. So Sam Choi to 6 under, his 3rd birdie of the day. And we are live at the first. That's Rohan Dolapatel from India. And there is the #1 ranked amateur in the world, Keita Nakajima of Japan. Earlier this year, he won a professional event back in Japan, which is a strong tour, following in the footsteps of the reigning Masters champion, Hideki Matsuyama, whom he idolizes. And so the card yesterday overcame that early double bogey. barrage of birdies out in 32. Frank, you were impressed with what you saw.
I certainly was. You know, for just 21 years of age, I mean, he came in with such good credentials. We knew that he will receive the Mark McCormick medal before the end of the week. And just how good his golf swing was. Colt Nose followed him yesterday and had already spoken to several of the prominent coaches in America saying, how can we get hold of him? I mean, technically it's just such a good move. But when he spoke with that, the interesting thing I thought yesterday, Rich, was when he spoke to Amanda afterwards, he actually seemed like there was an enormous amount of pressure on his shoulders, defending that perch as being the best amateur in the world.
I mean, it's with the sun, obviously.
So if you can relax a little bit. The left-hander in the distance is the one I've always had my eye on, Lucian Lin.
This is match number 26. First on the tee from China, Yujin Lin.
Plays his college golf at the University of Florida. He is the defending champion and trying to become the first three-time winner of this event. Matsuyama won it twice as well. Frank, you've been on the call for both of his victories.
Yeah, he's got power and he's got flair. You'll see it straight out of the gate here, but slight dogleg left par 4, 2 bunkers down the left. And even with his power, I don't know if he can carry the second one.
Should carry everything. Should carry everything.
Not sure if it did.
Next on the tee from Japan, Keita Nakajima.
He's exhorting that ball to carry everything, and now Nakajima. He's not related to a great Japanese star from years ago, Tommy Nakajima, if you're wondering.
And from India, Rohan Dole Patil.
Rohan's made a really nice impression so far. Bright young man from the Pune region of India, in the western part of the country. Comes in having played very well, won a couple of amateur tournaments back in India. Fought through yesterday and posted 72.
Oh,
yeah. Little swagger right there from Rohan. He too planning to turn professional at some point. Hopes to go through the Asian qualifying tour. So we'll give you a look now at the 18 holes here at Dubai Creek.
Yeah, par 71, that's one thing that stands out by virtue of just 3 par 5s. Par 3s are strong here. Several of them go across water. But the start, look for those sort of first 5 or 6 holes, because we saw a few problems. For example, Nakajima double bogeyed the second hole yesterday. Yushin Lin actually bogeyed this opening hole. So there's a little bit of imbalance on those first 6 holes. You've got to drive the ball well through the start. Then the golf course opens up a little bit.
Birdie putt now, Kawamoto at the 11th.
Trying to take advantage of that huge tee shot. He was up and out of that one early.
Bo Peng, birdie putt at 13. So that was a chance for 3 in a row for Bo Peng from China. Stays 1 shot back. Lucas Michel now for par.
His chip actually took a peek. This is about 4 feet for par.
Yeah, good chip, and finishes it off. So Michel will stay at 7 under, leading by 1. Back Jun Kim now for birdie at 13. Solid, and South Korean is a shot behind. Keita Nakajima. Let's go up top, Frank, get a look at this first hole where Nakajima is approaching his second shot.
Strong opening hole. That's a waste bunker that's actually down the right side. There's 2 bunkers that I was referring to. The left 320 to actually take them both out of place. The landing zone is towards the right. From there, second shot shouldn't be that long. 6, 7 iron into this green. That see, just the angle of the green is more towards the right. They actually have made the 10th hole, or should have said the 9th hole, is actually out of bounds when you tee off this hole. Ridge in the middle of the green. Hole all the way in the back today, so it's going to take a good iron shot here to hit it close. This hole is cut 31 paces from the front of the screen.
And the leader at the 12th.
Straightaway par 4, playing back into the wind today. This one heading up the right side, needs a good straight bounce to stay in the fairway.
It's worth having a look at that action a little bit. A little bit of hand action in this. It looks good in slow motion, good in real motion, but when you start to slow it down, just watch through the hitting area. You actually see quite a bit of hand action. Club in a good position, lovely turn, so that's going to build up some RPM, but then just as he gets into the hitting area, watch that right hand will really start to take over. You see a lot more hand action than probably you'd like. I'm sure that's something that he'll work on as his career goes forward. Now back to the opening hole.
And Dolo Patel from India. Not his best, but not bad.
There's only 2 holes actually harder on the golf course at the moment. The opening hole, hardest hole on the golf course today is the 7th, par 4. So just 5 birdies. He's far enough back from that lip. No strain in that golf swing. Yeah, superb. Made that look a little too easy.
That was just a tremendous shot by Keita Nakajima right there, and that's one thing we noticed all through yesterday's round was the balance to go with the power, and similarly with this man, Yu Jinlin of China.
Well, got a break by missing the bunker off the tee. And another good one.
Okay, so they have not disappointed, living up to the immense amount of hype. Yu Jinlin of China looking for win number 3. Keita Nakajima world number 1. They're out and looking for birdies right out of the gate here in Dubai.
So Lucas Michel looks like he has the lead at that figure of 7 under. If you just saw the second shot at the opening hole, the world number 1 signaled straight out of the gates. He is going to try and attack that lead very, very quickly. And Yu Jinlin going for 3 in a row, also at 4 under. It'd be interesting to keep an eye on that group there. If they can get off to a good start and perhaps get a little bit of daylight. But there are birdies to be found on this golf course, especially with some of the hole locations. Now let's check in at the 11th with the Australian McKinney. Lovely touch through the fringe. So all these players from around the world, very polished. Wind not quite up as strong as what it was yesterday. So expect some more good scores. Currently 34 players out of the 93 are actually in red numbers. Expect that number to get even higher. Greens, they're running at about 10.5 on the stimp meter. There's a little bit of undulation, but nothing really for these young nerves to be worried about as we check in with Choi and a chance to tie the lead. This putt should just move a little to his right. Has he got the speed? So Choi will have that to remain 1 behind.
The Asia Pacific Amateur Championship is proudly brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. AT&T, fast, reliable, and secure. And IBM, the world is going hybrid with IBM. And at the 12th, Lucas Michel, he's leading by 1.
Got to split those 2 palm trees from 156 yards. Caught this one just a hair heavy, needs to get up.
Have to rely on that short game once again. And a moment ago for birdie at number 11, Sam Choi, South Korea. First winner of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship was from Korea, Changwon Han. And then in 2013, Changwoo Lee from Korea, also victorious. Now back at the first, and Yushin Lin.
Yeah, the putter wasn't great yesterday. He got off to a good start and then just got into a par mode.
Well, he's got this in the perfect spot here. It's a flat putt. It could run from his right to left here, but it's a very makeable putt to start the day for Yushin.
Oh, no. Wow.
That actually went up the hill at the end. Anything that should have turned right.
Arguably, Yushin with the most big championship experience of anyone in this field. By virtue of his 2 wins in this championship, he's played in 4 majors already, made the cut in 1.
That was a good stroke. I mean, the speed, too. This is... could easily have gone in, just dripped in that left side. And Paul, you were in Wellington where he won there. I mean, it was very impressive.
He was, being so young too. The shot he hit on 17 with his driver, but that I was standing at that fairway when he hit that 5-iron, and he just roasted it so high in the air. It was a pin you couldn't get at.
Nakajima to get to 5 under.
And this is a makeable putt. It's flat going across there.
What a great start.
You love when they walk him in like that.
Just how good is he in the last 2 years? 7 top 20 finishes in 10 starts on the Japan Golf Tour, the professional tour, including that win at the Panasonic, 3rd at the Prestigio Taiheo Masters. He has proven himself. Now Dola Patel for par here at the opening hole.
It was actually important for him because the putter did not help him out yesterday.
Safely in. Great opportunity for Rohan to be alongside the 2 favorites in this championship. And third at the 12th now for Lucas Michel.
Very makeable here coming up the hill.
Oh, good call, Cole. Wow, that was close.
What a short game this guy has.
His technique looks to be just so good. And at the 11th now, this is par putt for Sam Choi. Okay, so he stays one back after an opening bogey, 3 birdies, and playing well. Ricky Kawamoto.
After another huge tee shot, had just 124 into this hole. Great look for birdie.
Okay.
Tell you what, this guy is impressive. He's got some speed.
He needed that after playing the first 5 and 3 under, a couple of bogeys, and a birdie at the 12th. Let's take a look at the second hole where our featured group is headed.
Yeah, interesting look really and design. It's almost like an S-shaped par 4. Bunkers on the right, they force you to go towards that water. That 303 is a really important number there, that layout. So you would think something other than a driver of this. The second shot looks a little more intimidating than what it is when you're down there. You had a good tee shot. Really, this is a hole that you can go at, especially where they've cut the hole in the back left. So expect anyone that finds the fairway to really have a crack at this flag.
Another warm day here in Dubai. We are 8 hours ahead of East Coast time in the United States. At 12:15 locally here in the UAE. Temperatures well into the 80s. You work up a good sweat here.
We can also say we're about 30 years ahead of most other countries in infrastructure and town planning. Dubai certainly is built for the future. Number of golf courses now in the Emirates. There's 7 different state sovereign areas in the Emirates. Golf courses now getting into double digits, game growing.
And there are 10 golf courses here in Dubai. In a country, a city of roughly 3 million people, and there are about 10,000 golfers, active players. Yeah. It's a vibrant golf scene here.
And of course, it's only about an hour and a half away is Abu Dhabi, the capital, really, which is considered the richest city in the world. As Keto Nakajima is considered the richest talent in the amateur game right now.
All right, now Bo Jin at number 12.
About 6 feet coming up the hill for back-to-back birdies.
Yeah, good roll. You could see it felt as though he needed that one. So Bo Jin is at 5 under par. We bring you to the second hole. I mentioned that Nakajima won on the Japan Golf Tour, the professional tour there. 5th amateur to win on that tour, joining Masi Kuramoto, with whom you played, Frank, Ryo Ishikawa, Hideki, and the 2018 Asia Pacific Amateur Champion Takumi Kanaya.
It's becoming more common on their tour, isn't it? The talent. I'm surprised how many sort of 16, 17-year-old really well-established amateur players that Japan is starting to produce. Ryo looked like he was going to be a superstar.
And able to accrue amateur ranking points as well through those professional starts. That's largely where he built his Wagger profile.
Correct. Just an iron here.
Yeah, just got to avoid those bunkers down the right. Water on the left. Requires about a 250-yard tee shot. I spoke to his golf coach overnight, Nakajima's. It's he's been, Gareth Jones has been in charge of that national team for quite some time. They're working on covering the ball. And in the last couple of years, he hasn't been able to see him. He's been doing all his work on Zoom. So the young man's done an amazing job to make his golf swing just more reliable.
It's quite amazing, isn't it? Zoom, just take your cell phone out, take a few videos, send it to your coach. feedback straight away. Let's see what Yushin Lin can do.
Going with an iron 2 here. Yushin, I like this golf swing. It's nice, short, compact, stays on top of the ball. The old days, Frank, you wouldn't see your golf coach for 12 months. And now they can just, zoom and be on top of you on the range, which is fantastic.
And now the leader at 13, Lucas Michel.
Downwind par 5, hit the fairway here. You can go for it in 2. Oh, he's leaning. This one is headed up the right side. Needs a big bounce to get back in the fairway.
So it hasn't been perfect, but he's managed, and he's made 4 birdies. Lucas Michel from Australia is leading 3 players by 1, but world number 1 is out there. He's birdied the opening hole. He's making his move.
The featured group this afternoon have teed off the second as they start their second round. 12th playing of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Here at Dubai Creek and Yacht Club. First professional event here, 1999, was won by David Howell. Also held here in 2000. Jose Caceres went on to win there. Dubai Desert Classic will be played in a couple of weeks at the Emirates Club, which isn't very far from here. It was actually almost in an oasis when it was first built. It was amongst the sand. There's just a green golf course. Now there's virtually a city built around that golf course as well. We'll start to look at some of the other 93 competitors. There's now 33 players in red numbers. But just Liu from Chinese Taipei. Thailand well represented. Hong Kong has a good team this year. It's just nice to go on the range and watch these, I don't want to say young, they're just good really. Age shouldn't be a determiner of talent. Just the way in which they hit the golf ball.
$11 champions here at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. They've had 11 championships. Yushin Lin's won twice. Hideki Matsuyama as well, a 2-time winner.
It all started back in 2009 at Mission Hills. It's the venue for the first ever Asia Pacific Amateur. I don't think they could dream of the list of winners or how much they've achieved already in golf.
And what a splash Guan Tianlong made in winning this championship, and then at the Masters playing alongside Ben Crenshaw as a 14-year-old. And that was your first call of the Asia Pacific Amateur. Yeah,
it was held at Amata Springs, and Hideki had remained an amateur because he was going for 3 in a row, which is what Yushin Lin is trying to do. But there has never been a #1 amateur in the world that has won this trophy. Curtis Luck was the highest ever ranked at #2. So Keita Nakajima is trying to do that this week.
Let's bring in Paul Gow. He's with this group.
Yeah, he's 160 on a slight upslope. This is all water carry. Quite accessible pin. It's a green lighter. Yeah, he'll fly this all the way back there. Just protecting the left side. Nothing left of this pin. Well, he's certainly he's come out of that one a little bit. Frank, is it amazing that these guys aren't so tall, but how much speed they have with their golf swings?
Yeah, we used to think you sort of had to be 6'3" or plus to develop that sort of speed, but that's not the case. I was also going to say, Paul, the difference between Nakajima and Yushin Lin. Yushin Lin looks a little more aggressive through the hitting area.
He does. I think he's just got a little bit more room to move. His arms swing independently of his body. It just looks easy. I always think left-handers look awkward. This is from 141.
Just a pitching wedge. I'd be happy with that. It's a long way off target.
The amazing bit with these two is how different their temperaments are. Nakajima is a little bit more intense, and Yushin, he could be asleep when he's out here.
Yeah, everything's like water off a duck's back, isn't it, with them?
Yeah, he's...
Dola Patel.
Well, 128 here. He's taken a metal wood off the tee here, got it closer to the water.
Excellent shot.
Of course, India has some of the oldest golf courses in the world. Royal Calcutta venue, produced some good players over there. Jeevan Milkha Singh got his teeth in the European Tour. Daniel Chopra,
Anirban Lahiri, yep. Arjun Atwal has won on the PGA Tour. Shubhankar Sharma now on the European Tours put his game back together. Now Choi, this to tie for the lead.
Lacked effort there. It's going to be a bit of a tester. It's a couple of putts now that he's left a good 2-3 feet short from inside 20 feet.
Well, there's so many productive grow the game initiatives, including drive, chip, and putt. And for more information on this exciting youth program, the Drive, Chip, and Putt Championship, go to drivechipandputt.com. Kids age 7 to 15 with a chance to compete at Augusta National. We've seen so many come through the ranks. Just had a chance recently to visit with Megha Gane, who made that big splash at the U.S. Women's Open. She talked about the pressure she faced at drive, chip, and putt. She said she doesn't think in her lifetime she'll ever hit a more pressure-packed shot than the one she did with the drive at the DCP.
Well, here we are at the 13th, and we actually saw this yesterday with Yushin Lin hitting his third shot out of the drop zone, Colt.
Yeah, missed the fairway right, had to lay up with just a wedge. Much like he did at the 10th, just 90 yards. This pin located up on top of a tier. Oh yeah, once again, hits a beautiful wedge shot.
It's been the story of his day. Has not been airtight with his driver, but that club just a spot on. Frank, let's get another look here at this par 5 13th.
It's been gettable. It's played actually a little easier than what I anticipated. It's a fairly generous fairway. 536 yards. We know it's reachable. There's a waste bunker down the end that starts at just over 290 yards. 250, you would think you'd seriously have to think of laying up. And the reason why is when we get close to this green, it's almost an island. And to make matters worse, there's yellow stakes all the way around. So it means if you don't find your target, you're playing your fourth shot from a long way back. Just saw the layup zone. And the flag today, a little more difficult than yesterday. There was just one eagle here yesterday, but today it is on the top tier.
Here's a guy who's hoping to make a walk across another famous bridge at Augusta National. April of 2022. He's done it before as a winner of the United States Mid-Amateur Champion. Now Nakajima at number 2. This for birdie after birdie at the opening hole.
Yeah, this pin back left-hand side here. He's got some 35 feet. It will move from his right to left. It'll head towards the water. He's very methodical with everything he does. This putting is very structured.
Good lag.
So he began the day after 4 under 67 in a 7-way tie for the lead. Lucas Michel, who is at number 13. Out ahead of him, he is now at 7 under. So Nakajima still with plenty of time, as he's only 2 back of that lead.
Remember, Rich, this is the hole that he actually made double bogey on yesterday.
That's right.
And still bounced back. Opening round of 67. Now, a long way short with the second was Yushin Lin.
Yeah, this is one he can be aggressive with because it's back up into the grain. If there is grain, there's a little bit of grain. He'll have to give this some to get it to the hole.
Yeah, good putt. And Yushin Lin made the cut last summer. The Open at Royal St. George's, finished tied for 74th. He has also played the Arnold Palmer Cup the last 2 years. And he is really seasoned on the international scene.
Yeah, and just a month ago turned 21, so he's prime, really. I think it's just a matter of time before we see him in the professional ranks. But I know before he does, he would dearly like to be the first to win this 3 times. But I mean, it's a tall order this week when you've got to beat the best in the amateur game.
Now Rohan Dolapatel.
Yeah, this was a beautiful shot in here. A little light to left. This one straight up the hill. Now, looking back at Yushin, Frank, he's had a few injuries already in a short career. It's about managing those injuries going forward, isn't it?
It will be, yeah. One of those was a wrist injury too, which obviously for a golfer is always problematic.
Doesn't seem to be he hasn't got any bandages on his wrists anymore, so that's a good sign, I guess. Is for birdie.
Singes the left edge right there. Mentioned he comes in having played really well. Won both the Northern and Southern India Amateur Championships this year.
Golf, a big sport in India. Doesn't sort of rival cricket. Cricket, one of the most watched games. India very passionate about their cricket. Played golf for a long period of time. Now a little bit of a tester for Nakajima.
So birdie par start for world number 1, Keita Nakajima, and 2 shots back. He will formally receive that McCormick medal tomorrow evening here in Dubai. This an eagle putt at 13 for Bo Jin. This would tie the lead.
Slow one coming up a rather big tier.
So a stress-free tap for his birdie, and Bo Jin will join the group at 6 under par. And that is 3 consecutive birdies for young man from China, Bo Jin. And now Nakajima and Yushin Lin going to this 3rd hole.
Yeah, normally we can see some fireworks there. Very nearly drivable. Yushin Lin hit one here just off the front edge yesterday. So sort of forget the 232 yards. These guys, they love to have a crack at it if there's any chance that they can get close. 309 is the number they're more likely looking at, just short of that bunker on the left. But it still will leave a tricky little pitch to that hole where it's cut in the back right today. But really, if you're young and you're strong, take the head cover off and just give it a whale.
Lucas Michel birdie putt at number 13. This to get it to 8.
Downhill, breaking really hard from his right to left.
Has nudged it a tiny bit to the right.
Yeah, he was begging early there.
Yeah. Well, that one gets away at the par 5. And 3rd hole.
So did they take the bait? Did they give it a go?
Well, the weather's starting to change here, the direction of the wind, which you can nearly set your clock here in Dubai. It's really starting to turn. It's coming straight off the creek at the moment, but it's trying to get back into their face. So it will be a decision, you know, if you're going to take the driver, how close can you get it? Because they won't be able to put any spin on this ball if they get it within that 30 or 40 yards from this pin.
By the way, Lucas Michel did make his par at number 13, that par 5 to stay at 7 under with a 1-shot lead, 2 in front of this man, Nakajima.
Well, if he's going to miss this, it needs to be to the left or get it so far up into the bunker that you've got that easy bunker shot out. Well, he's not like that at all.
Oh, that is a long way right.
Yeah,
out of bounds, but that out of bounds is a long way away.
Well, I couldn't see that ball, guys, but you know, out of bounds is a long way right. I don't think it got to that. It'll be over those mounds to the right.
Colt Knost talked about it, the pressure of being the #1 ranked amateur in the world.
Yeah, Colt had one of the best amateur seasons in American golf. There won pub links as well as the US Amateur. Walker Cup also that year. That was in the team. Ricky Fowler was on that team. Dustin Johnson. That's where they broke that run. Remember, the Europeans had done well at the Walker Cup.
The other guy that has been labeled as a man to beat right here, Yushin Lin. And he's been hard to beat at this championship, having won it twice. Defending title holder.
He's absolutely piped that. He's landed it down near the green. It can't go that far, seriously.
It flew every inch, didn't it?
Wow.
And putting his considerable skill set on display here, Yushin Lin. Meanwhile, it is Lucas Michel from Australia leading by 1 in Dubai.
And our shout out this week to Julian Danbury, the club manager at the Dubai Creek Golf and Yacht Club, being a tremendous host for all. David Taggart, the course superintendent, staff of just over 40. They had 100 days to get ready here. They rebuilt just about every tee on the golf course. Got to spend some time with Chris May, the CEO of Dubai Golf, who really gave Rich and myself a rundown on the development of the game in the United Arab Emirates. This course opened in 1993. As I've already said, it's the home of the first golf academy in the Middle East. They deem that to be extremely important. They want to develop their own stars in this game, and just maybe, you never know, it might happen within the next decade. The winner of this championship might very well come from UAE. It would be a goal for them. Originally, the event was slated to be in Royal Melbourne. So Royal Melbourne might have to wait a year or two before the championship goes back there. But the beauty of this championship, just like that tallest building in the world, it reaches for something that we never thought possible before.
Growing the game around the world, Latin America Championship, 3rd week of January. Spectacular Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic. Pete Dye's famous Teeth of the Dog. What a golf course right along the Caribbean. Been called the Pebble Beach of the Caribbean. Joaquin Niemann, who's one of the PGA Tour past champion. And now at 14, Bo Jin.
169 yards, wind hard off the player's left. An uncomfortable wind for a right-handed player. This one's out to the left of the hole.
Wondering where that tee ball went at number 3. Just to protect himself, Nakajima did hit this provisional.
And there's no harm in that. Obviously, that would speed up play rather than if they couldn't find that first ball, they'd have to go all the way back to the tee. So it'll be interesting to see if they did find the first one.
Yeah, Frank, they did. He's actually hasn't got much of a shot, but he's away from the fence. I think he'll just be pitching this back out to the fairway.
I mean, that didn't have much to spare. I mean, as we looked, just a yard or two. Of course, that is an out-of-bounds fence, so you can't get relief from that.
Yeah, that's probably the most loose shot he's hit in a couple of days there, because that's a long way right. That's some 60 yards offline. He'll do his best Houdini to get this out of with a par. As a player, these are the types of times that your heart's racing. You know, you're sweating and you're just trying to gather yourself.
Now at 14, Lucas Michel still leading by 1.
Scary tee shot here with the wind blowing towards that water. 169 yards. This is a little chippy shot coming in really low. Beautiful looking shot.
Boy, Frankie really has a nice polish to his game.
Yeah, I think he looks at it from a lot more different view from a lot of players, rather than just going with a full shot on a regular basis. Now back to the 13th, reachable par 5.
Another Australian.
Having to lay up. Actually, this is a lengthy third shot, but still really good. Look at this one go back. What a shot!
Oh, what a shot by the youngster from down under. Connor McKinney to 7 under with the eagle at 13.
2 Australians tied at the top of the leaderboard. What a way to get there. One more look. I mean, this is a long way back. Just took a full cut at it. And admittedly, it is going back into a little bit of a breeze. But look where it lands. And that is as much spin as we've seen all week.
So Aussie rules right now. Frank on top. Yeah, McKinney and Michel tied for the lead.
I told you that mustache would grow on you.
Looks like a first attempt at a mustache, doesn't it? He's just
we've
19.
all been there, haven't we?
Just 19 years old. He was born in Kirkcaldy, Scotland. That's 25 miles southwest of St. Andrews. Who knows? He keeps playing like this. A young man who calls Perth, Australia, home, might be headed back home to the home of golf.
Exactly, yeah, it's St. Andrews, but what a 3. I mean, what a scorecard, too. It's impeccable.
It's his first ever Asia Pacific amateur appearance.
Now, back to the problems here. Key shot at 3rd.
Well, Frank, he's not going the way that I thought he would. He's actually going more direct, sort of towards me in the back right-hand side of the pin. He's going to try to hit a low hook out of here. He's trying to get it to the bunker. It needs to get up. Oh, that's a marvellous shot. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, got it just off the putting surface.
Yeah, well, David Taggart, the greenkeeper's out here, and even he gave that a clap.
Nearly as good as the hole-out we just saw.
From a different angle. And by swinging that way, obviously he gets a fuller backswing. But there's a lot of tree trouble in front. Definitely gets ball first. That wasn't that far away from that first tree.
That's when art marries sport. Terrific crew led by Sellers, Shy, and Mike Crow. All the hardworking women and men in the truck and on the ground, bringing these pictures to you around the world. Now, Bo Jin, this to get to 7 under.
Outside chance for his 4th birdie in a row coming down the hill. Be happy with just 2 putts and get out of here.
Yeah, this being beamed, Frank, to 160 countries.
Now at the third, Yushin Lin.
Great interest, no doubt, in China. And this may be China's truly great player down the road, Yushin Lin. We'll see. Haotong Li almost won the Open 2017 at Royal Birkdale, finished third, shot that round of 63.
Yeah, and made the last President's Cup team.
That's right.
That was at Royal Melbourne.
Lucas Michel, this to get to 8 under.
I can't tell you how impressed I was with that approach shot, that little chippy 7-iron in there. Not much in this one.
Oh, man. You know, Lucas also has a connection to St. Andrews. He was an exchange student at the University of St. Andrews for 6 months while pursuing his undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering. Well-rounded, to say the least. Sam Choi at 13.
To tie. Good putt. So now things get a little interesting with 3 men tied at the top.
And then there are 3 at 6 and 3 at 5. Back to the third and Dola Patel.
Yeah, he's got a lot of green to work with here, but you've got to be careful. If he gets past this could run down into the bunker. And it's a little bit grabby around these greens with this Bermuda grass. You've got to keep that club head moving. He's going to land it on about 2 feet and let it roll out from there. Sit down. That is moving.
Yeah, a little too much Tabasco on that. Now trying to dig out this 4 here at number 3 is Nakajima.
Yeah, it's one of those little tricky little lies too. The ball's just sitting down. He's only got about 6 or 8 feet of green to pitch to. He only just wants to get this maybe a foot on and let it roll out. I wouldn't expect this to be short of the pin at all, but chipping back into the breeze. Oh, that's marvellous. Now that's Houdini stuff.
That's a fun 4. And he'll stay at 1 under on his round and 5 under for the championship. I mentioned the McCormick Medal, and our own Colt Knost was the first ever winner of that. Other McCormick Medal winners, the technique here, by the way, just perfect. Patrick Cantlay, John Rahm, Joaquin Niemann, Matt Fitzpatrick.
Good view there, too. Once again, shallow, even though that ball was sitting down. So if you go it a little bit too vertical, that's when the ball pops out and you lose a little control.
And Paul, impressions of Yushin Lin.
Yeah, this guy's got a rounded game. First of all, I love his temperament. I think he's got the perfect temperament for the game of golf, and especially at the highest level. He doesn't let anything fluster him. Technically, it is just sound. Maybe he could work a little bit more on his putting. This one just straight back up the hill. It bounced on him a little bit there. But as we can see, he's a winner. He knows how to win.
You talk about his putting, Paul. I think if anything, and we watched it yesterday as well, has a tendency to hit a lot of putts slightly on the downward stroke. Normally it's the other way around. But the quicker greens you putt on, normally you want the ball to roll.
Yeah, and I think that's to do with the backswing. I think it gets a little bit high in his backstroke. That putter that he's using gets a little, it's a mallet putter, gets a little high, comes down a little bit steep, and you know, a little bit of that with that putt, the ball just bounced for that first, foot of the putt.
Dola Patel. Paul, have you played some golf in India through the years?
Well, I have not. I headed straight to the US. I just thought I'm going to get to the biggest tour in the world someday.
But more Indian players playing professionally now across the world.
Absolutely. Arjun Atwell, I played a bit with him. Jeev Milkha Singh, we played junior, the Doug Sanders International, and he come down to Australia and had this weird looking golf swing, but tell you what, he could rack up some birdies, that's for sure. And they're the guys that open the doors, like our Peter Thompsons for Australia, the Bob Charles of New Zealand, who have opened up the doors for all these players to play on the biggest stages in the world.
And India is such a vast market with a burgeoning middle class. I know, the stakeholders in the game certainly are eager to establish a foothold in India, continue to grow it.
Yeah, well, there was just like America, for example, or Europe. They were a sports mad country. I mean, they love their sport. They're no different from anyone else. Reference cricket, which is a massive sport in India, but soccer, sports like badminton, squash. I mean, so often they had the best squash player in the world. I mean, that's the racquetball, very good. There's a good angle actually. It's just to watch the stroke of Yu Xin Lin, because it just tends to squeeze some of these. Much better.
When you say squeeze, Frank?
Yeah, if you just hit the ball slightly on the downward stroke, I mean, you're almost pushing it into the grass sometimes, so you can see off the fringe it'll pop up. But look, for example, at Nakajima's stroke, it was just a short one with a cross-handed. Just about all the time, the putter is moving in an upward direction through the hitting area.
Well, that's a heck of a par. Almost out of bounds and hit the Houdini-like second shot, and then a little chip and a putt for his 4. Now, Pak Jun Kim.
He's playing the hole the proper way, short par 4. This one coming in nice and low. Oh, lovely shot.
Love those little sawed-off finishes.
I love it when people, you've got softish greens at the moment. If breeze is in your face, just attack it nice and low. Ball's going to stop.
Seeing a lot of shot making, Frank. There's real sort of craft at work here. Not just a game, but a craft. We're in Dubai on a beautiful day. We're coming into their sort of peak season here. It's where you get a lot of vacationers from Europe as the European continent begins to settle into the colder weather. This is a great place to come to. And now at 15, Lucas Michel, 7 under.
149 yards ball. Really far below his feet. Got to maintain that knee flex through impact.
And he did.
That's a heck of an effort from there.
Yeah, it really is. Again, more shot making, creativity, ability to adapt. Okay, now at the 4th, this was the easiest hole, round number 1, this par 5.
Well, it's always difficult as a player to try to straighten it up after you've hit just a big block, but there's no better one here. Par 5, he can take the head cover off here. 271 to the bunker on the right, straight back into the wind. Well, that was more controlled, that golf swing. Balance was good. Yeah, right in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah. Didn't linger on that previous drive, that's for sure. Just the one eagle today, that was from Puadanu Pansupsai, who's having a tremendous round, 6 under par as he plays the 14th. Player from Thailand has gotten himself back into the championship after an opening 2 over par 73. He's at 4 under, along with this guy, Yu Xin Lin.
A few years back there, watching Yu Xin into the wind, he was exceptionally good at keeping the ball low and flighting the ball low. These guys launch it miles high, but he can control his penetration of the ball. Well, that's another good drive.
How do you like that action, Frank?
He's got flair, he's got game, he's got power. Yep. What's not to like? And what's not to like about Nakajima as well? So nice to visit this part of the world. Transcontinental country. So it can, if you want to get specific, you can say you're in Africa, you can say you're in the Middle East, or you can also say you're in Asia. That's the way it works. Dubai, population of just over 3 million people. But we're getting to see the best talent in the world. Some of the swings on display, it just, well, you can model your own golf swing after them. Yushin Lin, this is the left-handed version, that's for sure. So golf, you can play any side of the ball. Wonderful turn. See, at that point, he's already gone beyond 90 degrees. That's where some of that power is coming from. You see the lats being pulled, dragging the club down, allowing that angle to stay there, set as long as possible, and then a release. A release is letting go. They're not forcing the club to fire. Put the club in the right position and then store that power and release the power, free flowing. You can do that at any age and at any stage of your own career. So, used to be difficult to find equipment for left-handers. I remember speaking to New Zealand's own Bob Charles. That was the hardest thing possible. But now, doesn't matter what side of the ball you play from. But so much good golf being played.
And back at 17th hole, this is Bo Peng. This is to tie the lead.
Yeah, just a hint of movement. Sadly, just pulled it. Was just outside the right edge. That's all it really needed. Now to the par 3, 14th.
Connor McKinney after the hole-out eagle back at 13. This to take the outright lead at 8 under par. Oh, yes, he does. Connor McKinney, 19 years old from Australia, has played the last 2 holes in 3 under par. And he vaults to the top of this leaderboard at the 12th playing of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. All right, Frank, here we go back at number 9 after a birdie at 8.
Looked in trouble, had a little bit of a flyer from the rough, but this chip, I mean, just hits and runs like a putt. And all of a sudden, you know, something's a little special. 13 was actually in trouble off the tee, laid it up. This is a really long third shot, up and across the water. It's like one of those, please find the putting service, but spin it does, and even better, it becomes an eagle, the only one we've seen at this hole today.
He has started to pop up at some junior and amateur events the last couple of years. Junior Worlds, 15 to 18 division. He was 3rd there. RNA Boys Amateur, he made the round of 16. And now, back young Kim.
So he pulls with one. So just back to Connor McKinley, though, pars in for a round of 64. That's 3 better than anything we saw yesterday. Course record is 61.
All right, now the other Australian, Michelle, for his birdie at 15th hole.
18 feet up the hill. Really hit a heck of a shot to get to here.
Hurry. Okay. Well, it's been quite a week for Australia. Lucas Herbert. This past Sunday won his first PGA Tour title by a shot in Bermuda. Herbert, an AAC alum, never worse than 12th in 3 starts. Also won a European Tour event here in Dubai. By the way, Frank, 8 AAC alums have won on the PGA Tour. Nakajima.
Yeah, this plane straight back into the breeze. You can't get home. That was from 278. But you can get it right up close. Well, that's another long one. Wow.
By the way, a little bit later this week, Amanda Balionis will take a deeper look at the success the Asia Pacific Amateur alums have had in professional golf.
Well, a bit awkward here, Yushin. His feet are higher than the ball. He's gone down to a little bit of a gully. He needs to get it up over the top of this little ridge with a 3-wood from 275. Well, he's missed it. It's come out of his hands there. That's headed way left into the waist area. Well, that'll make an awkward 3rd shot for Yushin Lin.
Quite close to the back edge of that waist area. So Poor girl referenced that side hill lie, but I think he thought his best one and a little more, he might just have been able to green it. Maybe a little too greedy.
15th hole now. Bo Jin for his birdie.
Has really started to hit some nice iron shots. This for 4 birdies in his last 5 holes.
Yeah, sneaks it in. Bo Jin to 7 under par. And 6 under with a clean scorecard on his round today. So they're putting some numbers on the board. Mention Anupansubsai is having a solid round, though he has just dropped a shot 5 under on his day. But Frank, boy, they're getting after it, aren't they?
Well, Connor McKinley currently having the round of the tournament, 7 under, as we just referenced, with 4 holes to play, so a chance to be even deeper. I mean, 17 is a relatively short par 4, so you never know. Already hold a couple of iron shots. We showed those from off the green, but everybody's chasing too. They're not giving up on the chase. But 2 Australians at the top. No surprise to see China. They've played so well in this event. Bo Jin referenced his brother has already won this championship. Bo Peng just behind him. And of course, really their best player in my opinion, Yushin Lin, currently at 10th at 4 under.
Okay, now we're at 18.
Jaglin with his par putt.
It's another young player from India.
It doesn't look very long, Rich, but I mean, this one, you've actually got to putt this right of centre. Started off too straight. It has a tendency to go left.
Okay.
Rattles it in.
It's an interesting young guy, Shubham Jaglin from India. And with more, let's bring in Amanda.
To say interesting might be an understatement, Rich. He's now a freshman at the University of South Florida, but when you consider his journey, it's pretty amazing that he got here. He's been considered a self-taught child prodigy since the age of 6. In fact, he was listed as one of the top 100 prodigies of 2020 in India. Nobody in his village or the surrounding villages actually plays golf. His grandfather is the one that got him into it, and then his dad ensured that he stayed into it after he saw the natural talent that Jaglin had. What would he do? Well, they would go get these big steel beams and cut holes into them, and that is what they would use in the backyard for him to aim at. He went on to win the 2015 World Golf Championships, and even, get this, I know you're going to appreciate this, Frank, he has his own TED Talk titled "Don't Let the Wind Determine Your Direction." He is certainly wise beyond his years, calls Anirban Lahiri his role model, but just another example of, if golf isn't readily accessible, events like this keep the spotlight on the game and keep children really goal-oriented, even if it's not something that is really popular in their area quite yet.
Well done, Amanda. And he is still only 17.
Now, Yushin Lin, and just to put a button on this, this quote, this quote from the young Indian player, Shubham Jaglin, is really worth listening to. And he included this in his TEDx talk. He said, "We all take so many things for granted, but never make the best use of what we have." And he went on to say that if I did not have a coach, I made YouTube my coach. If I didn't have money, I earned money. If I didn't have a golf course, I built one. Amanda referenced that. But I didn't let the lack of facilities hinder me from achieving my potential. And here's the meat of the quote. "You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to be. The winds never blow the way you want them to. They never have, and trust me, they never will. It is your absolute responsibility to adjust your stroke so that the wind carries the ball exactly where it should land. But remember, if it does not, don't blame the wind." That's a lot of wisdom. That's a lot of wisdom from a teenager from India. Oh, what a shot there.
So Nakajima will have a chance for birdie. And also the young man from it, his family's wrestlers, a bunch of wrestlers. The only person that green-lighted golf for him was his grandfather.
His grandfather.
Yeah. 16.
194 yards, wind off the right. This is a pretty good looking shot.
Frank, you think about it, I think golf unfairly has a reputation of being a silver spoon sport, and it's not in so many cases. As we look at the 16th hole.
Well, you just need a ladle really down here, no silver spoon. But the bunker on the right is what gets my attention. It looks much deeper, more provocative into this hole. There's a definitive ridge on that left side where often they stick the flag. That's where it was yesterday. Today it's in the lower portion. You don't have to take the direct route. You actually can hit it in the middle and feed it off that ridge. Be interesting to see if Michelle tries to do that.
As I mentioned, 194 yards wind right to left. Oh, and this is his worst swing of the day. This is going to come up well short and right.
It's swallowed up in that deep bunker.
Right now, Yushin Lin.
Yeah, guys, the mistake for Yushin was the second shot. That really put pressure on that 60-yard out of the sand there. And this was actually a good result. This is the maturity. He didn't try to go for the pin. He hit it to the fat part of the green, and he'll be happy with a 2-putt here just to walk off with a par. But you know, normally these par 5s, he absolutely eats them up. This is a fairly straight putt. Should fall from his left a little bit. Just got to get the speed there. Nakajima giving it every bit of help. That's nice of a playing partner to give your ball a help. New Zealander wouldn't do that to an Australian for sure.
Plays for Coach J.C. Deacon at the University of Florida. Among his teammates, another standout amateur played the Walker Cup, Ricky Castillo.
I'm all excited about Indian golf though right now because I just remembered, you know, talking about wrestling, Jeev Milkha Singh's dad. Remember, he was the Flying Sheik. So
sprinter.
Yeah.
Passed away in the past year. A legend in sport in India.
Now back to Nakajima. Can he get to 6 under?
Yeah, this should be fairly straight. This back down the green to the front.
I love the way he rolled it yesterday and again here today. So off to a good start. 2 under through 4. Having bolted to the lead, here is Connor McKinney.
Yeah, drove it left off the tee, and that lie is, as it appears, difficult, well below his feet. Just an extra bounce has made the third much more difficult.
He'll probably hole it. Now Michelle.
Caught that front deep bunker. Plenty of green to work with.
Nice and tidy.
Once again, just an unbelievable shot around the green for Lucas Michelle.
So the 2 previous winners of this championship from Australia.
Yeah, Royal Melbourne. Medak actually was the last one in on that team. They were allowed to stretch the number of the team because it was a home game. And Curtis Luck is a reference. That's still the highest ranked player ever to win this championship. He was the number 2 ranked amateur when he won in Incheon in South Korea.
Now Yushin Lin. Jack Nicklaus Golf Club in Korea.
Also hosted the President's Cup.
That was a great President's Cup. It was Jay Haas and son Billy. Get there. All right. Yushin Lin. His 2019 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship came back in China with his father on the bag, and there were some 650 youngsters watching. That really is what this is kind of all about, inspiring that next generation.
Yeah, he won in a playoff there at Xishan Golf Course where they have the professional event now at 18. Kim, uphill.
Good try. And a good round for Bak Jung Kim. So he birdies 2 of his last, 3 off the bogey at 15. He'll tap for 5 under 66.
And best round of the championship so far. Remember, McKinley currently 7 under. So a chance to go even lower.
Siwoo Kim won the Players as an AAC alum. South Korea. Jin.
Good look at birdie here. Learned a lot from Kawamoto's putt. That's gotta go.
Of course, Cole too. Jin's had a good back 9. He's had 4 birdies. Birdies 11, 12, 13, and the one at the previous hole.
And another player from China, Bo Ping.
So he remain currently in a 3-way tie for 5th. That's how congested it is at the top of the board. McKinley sits at 8 under. We have 3 players at 7, 3 at 6, a couple of 5, a bunch at 4 under.
And now the par save for Lucas Michel, 16.
Just outside of 3 feet for his par. And the short game just continues to bail him out. Frank, you gotta be able to scramble on days like this when you don't have your ball striking.
Well, that's for sure. It'd be interesting to see what he does over the last 2 holes, Colt. I mean, 17 there's a chance, but 18 has been difficult. Speaking of 18, that's where we go. A little par putt here for Peng.
Mentioned that he plays at the University of Washington, but had to go back home after the 2020 season, which was stopped due to the pandemic, and has not competed for the Huskies since then. But his game's still sharp. He is back at school. Head coach Alan Murray said great to have him back, and he's in contention here. Now McKinney.
Just a touch too aggressive. You'd actually rather it that far short than over, because he's on the other side of the hill.
All right, now to this par 3 and Nakajima.
Hitting into Dubai Creek here, 146. It's a bit of a sucker pin here, 10 on and 12 from the right. It's protected by a bunker at the front there. And these guys hitting in 9 irons.
Hard to make it out against that haze, but this is the spot where you can see the world's tallest building in the distance. That's not a bad shot. Burj Khalifa. The view from the 5th tee here rivals the one fans around the world see at Emirates Golf Club, the Dubai Desert Classic, on the 8th hole.
Yeah, that building just a mere half a mile high. Okay, no hole-in-one here. Yet to see a hole-in-one on any par 3 this week.
The time. Anything left of this pin is perfect, right where Nakajima ball is finished. Anything right of this pin is a miss hit, that's for sure. Amazing how these tees are only a few months old, but they're absolutely beautiful. A little left.
Well, it will not go in the water. There's enough room behind this green. Once again, off target. So we mentioned the first 6 holes, just a little tricky. You've seen a lot of different types of shots. It's tough to get into a rhythm, but there are opportunities. Our big par putt here for McKinney at 15 if he wants to remain in the lead.
Okay, so eagle at 13. Birdie at 14, and now he'll tap for bogey here at 15 and drop back into a tie for the lead.
It'll be his first bogey of the day, but also a bad bogey. That tee shot had just pulled up like a yard or 2 short on the back. A relatively straightforward chip, but that bunker shot. We referenced long. Short would have been better than long.
So McKinney, Michelle, Bo Jin, Baek Jun Kim, all at 7 under, tied for the lead here at the 12th edition of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. Now Yu Jin Lin at the 5th.
Well, as I said, straight back into the wind. This has got a bit of a backstop here. This is going straight at it, taking no information from me.
Oh, starting to come back a little closer.
Come on. Oh, that's a marvellous shot.
So Yu Jin Lin looking for his first birdie of the day, and this is one that has everyone's attention in this field. The Hideki Matsuyama billboard at 17. Right next to the Garbood Bridge.
That's a popular miss down the right side. Dubai Creek is the left. It's a fairly short par 4. Some of the players can actually drive it into that green side bunker.
Yeah, the Garhoud neighborhood nearby, one of the older sections of this city, and there's that billboard, and that slogan nails it. It all starts here. Won back-to-back in 2010, 2011, silver medal at the Masters as the low amateur, and now he is the Masters champion, sort of all chasing that kind of dream. That sparkling trophy here in Dubai.
So the 19th-year-old Connor McKinley, who's just made his first bogey to drop back in a tie in the lead, but it's back at the 5th there. Indian Dollar Patel is in danger of dropping another shot. A run of 72 on day one. Looks to quickly go 2 over for the round today, playing alongside the heavyweight group, #1 amateur in the world and the defending champion. Since the first championship, India has been well represented here. Also looking for its first winner of this championship. Performed well over the years. There will be a cut at the end of today. It'll be 50 in ties. So at the moment, +2 is that cut line. Hard to predict exactly where it will fall, but somewhere in that sort of +1, +2 mark is where we're looking. Yeah, tricky putt. As soon as it moves a couple of feet, then it's straight downhill. Oh, got a chance. Good touch.
Looking forward to continuing coverage of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship tomorrow, 3rd round, and then the final round is on Saturday. And it is a jam-packed leaderboard right now, and right there, just a shot back, is world #1, Keita Nakajima. Clean start for a young player from Japan. 2 birdies, no bogeys. Third Japanese player to have reached #1 in the World Amateur Golf rankings, behind Hideki Matsuyama and his great friend Takumi Kanaya, who won this championship 3 years ago. Now at 17, Lucas Michel.
Hit a tree off the tee. This from 94 yards. This one came out a little soft on him.
just comfortable in the sand. We know his affinity for great sand belt courses. Plays out of Metropolitan in Australia. Now back at the 5th. Good look at birdie here for Yu Xin Lin to get to 5 under.
Yeah, it should fall away to the left-hand side here for Yu Xin. These boys are on the clock. Wow.
He just hasn't been able to find that other gear over the first couple days, Frank.
He was a little bit like that on the back 9 yesterday after he'd got off to a good start. But as Paul Gall just referenced, you know, once you get on the clock too, it's hard for the rhythm, and a lot of that would have been that the tee shot on the 3rd. Remember, Nakajima went right, but back to the man that hails from Perth now, but was born in Scotland, Connor McKinley.
See how he rebounds from his first bogey of the day. It's okay. That's a cool looking tee, isn't it? On stilts there in the water at the par 4 6th.
It does look intimidating. Water on both sides. You see the water start coming on the left. You can see there, if you're a little frightened, try and bail out the one on the left. That pond on the left can certainly get your attention. It's a good driving hole. There's a little bit more room on the right. It's preferable. Good drive though. You can have a fairly sort of short wedge shot in, and I was watching the boys in practice the other day. This is a pretty soft green. So, but the key, as I referenced, these first 6 holes, there's some fiddly tee shots, and this is one of them. This is a must-find fairway.
Yeah, from this vantage point, it does look fiddly with all that water out there. You got to sort of finagle it in to that ribbon of green out there. So 6 birdies, 20 bogeys, and 1 bigger number here at this par 4. Nakajima, it just propped up in the water. You sort of think about a Tiger hitting balls here in Dubai off that helipad, the Burj Al Arab, years ago.
This wind directly behind them off this floating tee. And it does widen out a bit there to the right-hand side. No need to go anywhere near that water up the left. You'll just take a club to stay short of that.
It was 8 years ago, too, that Tiger hit golf balls from Asia into Europe across Istanbul's iconic Bosphorus Bridge. It's the meeting point of the 2 continents. Now, see if he has more magic. Michelle.
Yeah, having to scramble once again just proves that these holes don't have to be long to be difficult.
A lot left there for his par. Yu Xin Lin at 6.
That's dry, but once again, the ball's at least sitting up because there's a few flyer lies down that right side.
Yeah, he's running a little hot right now. And now McKinney at 16. Wow, he has a knack.
He's doing well on just his first ever appearance in this championship. Started playing the game when he was just 4 years of age.
Looks like he has room to fill out that frame too as he moves into his early 20s, get a little bit stronger even. And now Bo Jin
missed his tee shot right of the 10th green. Was able to get it to here.
All right, so a logjam here at the top of the leaderboard. 4 players are at 7 under. Yu Xin Lin trying to get it going here in defense of his title at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
So look at Bae-Jack Kim from Korea, that round of 66. That's the lowest in the championship so far. He also was making his first ever attendance, this Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. He's a member of Korea's national team for the last 2 years. And actually in June, he finished runner-up in Korea on the professional tour in Korea in their SK Telecom Open. So, just 20 years of age, he's already been exposed to some of the better players in the region. Won the junior championship, also finished in Korea. So he played a lot of golf. So that's 66, that's what's standing out right now. And that bogey by McKinney is it's going to be a little harder for him to shoot lower at the moment. Tai Chi Ko from Hong Kong, disappointing round of 73 today. Looked like he was in good form yesterday. Garandu from China also over par after a good opening round. So often we say Saturday is moving day, but really it's today when the cut is just 50 players.
Sixth hole, it's a par 4, and it's a quirky one, teeing off from that tee in the water on stilts, and now a tricky second shot here.
Yeah, he's got 135 here. It's going straight down the breeze, but he's on a bit of a downslope. A lot of green to work with. Has to fly it across the water, but the pin is 26 back. It's a long way back. He's done well all day to control his ball. A little bit right this one, and long.
That is a testy up and in from there. Not a lot of green to work with.
This fluffy Bermuda rough, I mean, on a hole when you're hitting iron off the tee, it's almost a must-hit fairway. So much better position here for Nakajima.
Yeah, he's only got 120. This is an absolute green light. You know, anything just right of the pin here is absolutely perfect. A little bit of a downslope. The ball's a little bit lower than his feet.
Just noticed a touch of mud on the front of that ball.
Yeah, just a touch. Well, it could interfere with the spin of the ball and the flight of the ball. Well, that's a nice swing. That is going straight at it.
Yeah, great shot from Nakajima.
Showing a lot of distance control with his irons, that's for sure.
Showing you why he is the #1 ranked amateur in the world, and only a shot back. All right, Lucas Michel now to stay tied for the lead. This at 17.
See if the putter can save him once again. Oh, finally lets him down.
Just putting a lot of pressure on that part of his game. And so Michel is now 2 under on his round and 6 under for the championship. Second bogey of the day. Nakajima. He has really put together a resume, Frank.
It has in such a short period of time. And like our own Colt, Nost will get that Mark McCormick Award. Colt was actually the first recipient of that, but he'll also be the second consecutive winner from Japan to receive that. So it shows you the balance of power in the amateur game has changed.
He comes out of the Nippon Sports Science University, and his teammates there with Ricky Kawamoto. Ricky is at 5 under, you see, playing the 18th hole. Ricky says that Keita's success has helped make him a better player. There's a great tradition in Japan. The older players, established, successful players, give back, and Matsuyama, the Masters champ, is a great example of that. As we watch Michel
That's McKinney's tee shot there.
Excuse me, McKinney.
At 17. Well laid up. The two bunkers, I mean, there's a decision there. If you can hit driver, but to try and take those bunkers out of play, but then you risk, obviously. Go. Now, Michelle at 18.
Just a beautiful finishing hole. Wind hard back into the player's face. Once again, he's lost this one to the right, headed towards that fairway bunker.
Yeah, he said yesterday that he's not driving the ball very well, but the rest of his game, and we've seen this, is solid.
But when the wind gets up, I mean, driving becomes more important at this golf course, Dubai Creek and Yacht Club. And we've seen that there at 6 when Yushin Lin missed the fairway, and of course you get the flyer, goes long, but might get a little bit of a break here. Paul Gower, I know you're out there, because if he can drop it into a better lie.
Yeah, the lie, he will get a drop, interference from the TV tower there. And I guess the only thing that's in his favour is the wind coming back and the lie that he does drop it into, to whether he can get enough club on the ball, because he's only got about 8 feet of green that's running away from him.
So you can actually play ready golf here, which is something that the R&A have tried to encourage these players to do, and I'm sure this is what they're going to do, because being on the clock. And
right, 3 players expected to get around 18 holes in
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
Yeah, Nakajima will go ahead here after that beautiful iron shot ahead. And the wind is actually, it's starting to get up a little bit, probably around about that 15 miles to 20 miles an hour now. Enough to get your attention, that's for sure.
Frank, do you think across the board in high-level golf that enough has been done to improve the pace of play?
Truthful answer, no, really, because there's so many things that come into it. People talk about greens books and yardage books. I know the rangefinders have helped here and that, but you know, sadly, even the professional model, these players copy. So they see players at the professional game taking a lot of time, they mimic that. So somehow we have to change that trend.
Didn't quite have enough oomph on that, and so he'll stay 1 shot back. Keita Nakajima.
Yeah, personally, I think the only way to speed it up is to impose penalty shots. That's really what it is, and that's tough too when imposed, because it's very subjective. I mean, to be fair to this group, it was the errant tee shot by Nakajima on the 3rd hole that sort of wasted a little bit of time and got them behind.
And, 17. It's McKinney.
A very conservative tee shot, so it's a lengthy second coming up. Well, we got a putt from there, and that's about it. This hole's only 350 yards.
Similarly attired, here is fellow Aussie Lucas Michel, been playing from the sand pretty much all day.
Yeah, just trying to get this thing to the house. 141 yards. Got to get it up a little quick. Playing about 165 back into the wind. Oh, and this one's getting killed by the wind. This is not going to cover.
Not even close. So just came unglued late. Cole, you agree with that play there? Not an easy
It was
one.
risky, but it was definitely doable. I just think he mishit it, and then the wind ate it up.
You know, there's been a lot of weird things happen over there. We can doubt that call there, but you know, sometimes you're just forced to play a shot. For example, yesterday, and I know we saw the funny side of this, but up against the rocks at the 6th, and well, the ball doesn't make it, but neither does Jimmy as well, because Jimmy, well, he took a little drink there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it is the club went in as well. He actually had to jump back in to fish the club out. That's the hardest thing of all. So that affects your pride in that. But Jimmy gave us a little bit of entertainment. Yeah. Sadly, it really did damage his scorecard. And he'd finished in the top 10 in the previous edition of this championship. So, Jimmy, you got to get that club out. I mean, you got to give him an A for effort, don't you?
Yeah, that's Jimmy Lee from South Korea. Plays at Texas A&M in the United States. Did make 8. But we fought back to shoot 73.
It took him about 5 minutes to get the water out of his shoes as well. Yeah, this was subsequently, what was it? This was a 6th shot. 2 putts and 8 was enough.
Yeah, but Jimmy would tell you, that's the small stuff in life. I detailed it yesterday. He was in a frightening car accident. He said he was lucky to be alive. Busted up his wrist, had a plate and some screws put in his right wrist, and forced him to sort of reassess. And just be grateful for every wonderful day.
Yeah, through that whole ordeal, the smile never left his face.
Yeah. Now McKinney.
So it will be a 4 at 17.
And the grind continues. Now Jin. This at 18.
135 yards. Frank, this swing reminds me so much of fellow Oklahoma State Cowboy Bo Van Pelt.
Oh, yeah, I'd say he's going to have a putt for 64.
All right. Now Yu Shin Lin after the drop.
Yeah, he's absolutely got nothing here. A knob to go over. Everything's going away from him. He's got to take a big swing at this.
Oh, nothing is everything. That is a sensational little touch shot right there by Yu Shin Lin. That was part of the game that J.C. Deacon said that they're working hard on.
Exactly. Now back at 18.
85 yards after dropping back into the wind, playing more like 100. Oh boy, what just a disastrous finish for Lucas Michel.
Yeah, especially after that 5 at 17, now to the 6th. This would be some up and down. And the 2-time champion makes it as a big par.
Seen 2 really good up and ins from this group. Keita Nakajima earlier. Right, so 3 at 7 under par. Round 2 from Dubai, the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship.
So as you just saw, Lucas Michel, the man that has a master in mechanical engineering, part-time course designer, has found the water at 18. When he gets to design golf courses, I wonder how many lakes he'll put on the 18th hole for that very reason. But the leaderboard there now a little bit more congested. It looked like there was a chance for somebody to get to double figures, but instead everybody's starting to round up around the same score. Yu Shin Lin, that great up and down at the 6th hole. So he started with 6 pars today. Has not moved that score forward. Shaglang from Indonesia, that round of 68. It's turning out to be even more important now as that wind kicks in. Liu from Chinese Taipei, 67. It's another good one. 2 under. It's only 5 behind. Be a very interesting weekend. If we get a little bit of wind, could easily see the champion coming from behind over the next 2 rounds. When you're starting into the business end of the championship, 50 and ties will play in the weekend. So at the moment, that's +2. So just 50 and ties out of the 93. Maximum field was set at 120, but sadly some of the players couldn't travel because of the restrictions in their home countries. I know New Zealand, for example, 2-week quarantine for the players there, so only just the one player, Jimmy Chen, was the only one to make the trip.
Continuing live from Dubai with the #1 ranked amateur in the world, Keita Nakajima. Only a shot back here at the 7th tee.
Well, everything of driver here, wide open fairway. You can take a smash at this, and well, he's certainly done that. He'll head it up the right a little bit here, but the wind now behind them.
Second ball he has lost well to the right. Game of managing misses, isn't it? As much as it is a game of the pure strike. And now Yuxin Lin. 6 pars to start his day.
It's quite interesting that Yuxin hasn't got out of stride. Even if they're on the clock, he's actually stayed at the same pace. The other two are moving a lot quicker.
All right, Bo Jin now, birdie putt at 18.
Up the hill, breaking right to left. This one's got a chance.
Yeah,
wow,
give
what
me
a round of golf that was.
Yeah, give me a little right cross right there. Bo Jin. And that is a round of 7 under 64, the round of the championship so far. 5 under 31 coming home. And Bo Jin from China is leading by 1. Trying to follow in the footsteps of his brother who won this championship. Chen Jin won in 2015. Frank, you were on the call for that.
Yeah, that was at Clearwater Bay and Golf and Country Club in Hong Kong. Was actually reduced to 54 holes, but I mean, just a short period of time. Can we have 2 brothers winning the same championship? Now at 18, this for a 5.
Took a long look at the leaderboard before this putt. Frank was in absolute disgust. And that's going to be a bogey, double bogey finish.
Eventually he paid the price for the wayward drives.
Yeah, well, it's an awkward second shot. I mean, it's tough to lay up. I mean, because of the distance. I mean, the shot was obviously well within his round, but
yeah, that's a round of 71 for Lucas Michel, and he falls back to 4 under for the championship.
64. What a round, though. Squeaky clean scorecard. Back in 31.
And typically they would take caddies in championship of this magnitude, but you know, as college golfers, you know, they're used to carrying their own bags.
Yeah, you're young and strong.
That's right.
He's getting more than his 10,000 steps, and I know that.
Well, I'll give you a look at the highlights now from this, the round of the championship. Bo Jin.
It was a steady start, really got it out in 33. That was 2 under. Did not birdie the 10th hole, which is the par 5, so he thought maybe it's just a ho-hum day. But then a second shot into 11. Just staked it. So that was 3 under for the round, and that's where things started to get really interesting. Up ahead at 12, the par 4, and the putter started to warm up. Just buries another one.
It's 2 in a row.
And what's better than 2 in a row? Up ahead on the par 5 13th. Made the par 5 green in 2, up and over the hill. Comfortable 2 putt for a birdie, and 3 in a row.
They par the par 3 14th, now the par 4 15th. This for 4 birdies in 5 holes. Sneaks it in. Pars at 16 and 17, and this is how you cap it off.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for the tee shot. Hit a great tee shot, the iron shot underneath, but the putt just right in the heart, and 2 better than anybody else this week. 64.
After an opening round of 1 under 70. And Bo Jin in the lead. Boy. Yeah. So Bo Jin's at 8. Ricky Kawamoto is tied for 6th. He's at 5 under, and Lucas Michel through 36 holes after his stumble to the finish, he is at 4 under and tied for 11th. China, Japan, Australia. By the way, Bo Jin's brother Chen Jin is playing professionally in China right now. Top 4 on that leaderboard. 4 different countries. See, Thailand is on page 1 as well. 7th hole, and now Yuxin Lin from China.
He hasn't got much here. He's got a palm tree right in his face, and the pin's cut 18 on and 5 from the right. There is no area here. He's going to have to take it to the left-hand side of the green and flirt with that bunker. And that's exactly what he's done. Front left edge. Just needs a good kick. Well, that's a good play. Very smart play, that one.
Nakajima. What's he looking at here, Paul?
Yeah, Nakajima's hit it, fairway right. He's going to have to go down, all the way down to the steel in the shaft there at the end of the grip, because he's got a tree in the background there.
Yeah, we'll watch Adola Patel in the meantime.
Well, he's coming off the upslope. He can go a little bit left of this pin. Doesn't actually look like the pin is on the green.
Good shot.
That is a fine shot. But yeah, Nakajima took us a while to find his ball. He's going to have to go a little bit further down this and chop this out. Front left hand of the green is about the only spot. The grass is quite thin over this side, so we can get the club through for sure. Taking a few rehearsals so he doesn't hit that tree in the backswing. Well, he's made a good strike to that.
Did a nice job staying in that shot through the hit, and should be a relatively simple up and down for a player of his magnitude, his caliber. Sam Choi is hanging around. He's at 6 under playing the final hole. Oh yeah. Sam Choi with a kick-in birdie to get it to 7 under par. Lead right now is at 8. A sensational round today by Bo Jin of China. 7 under 64, and he leads by 1.
So 64 in the books. If you want to know the course, or the lowest rounds ever shot at the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship, that is 62. Yushin Lin did that in 2018 back in Singapore, but Bo Jin's brother Chen actually shot 62 the year he won in 2015. So brothers have a lot more in common. It's for sure. Great score today. Clean scorecard. Just the 7 birdies. Sam Choi, we just saw that great second shot into 18. He started with a bogey today. So here's a chance to shoot a round of 68 and get to 7 under. Skark, the best of the players from UAE. Yeah, I watched him in the practice round. Very strong player from Hong Kong. 3 under that tie for 16th, but plenty of holes for him to go. Another 10. Golf course just under 7,000 yards, par 71. And enough water in play. We've already seen that affect some of the scores. Interesting, those first 6 holes, tough to navigate. Course opens up a little bit in the middle, but then the nice stretch home. 16 the par 3, 17 decision has to be made on a relatively short par 4, and then 18 where really you have to muscle up and hit your best tee shot of the day.
The Asia Pacific Amateur Championship is proudly brought to you by Delta. Keep climbing. UPS. Be unstoppable. 3M Science. Applied to life. And Rolex. The 18th hole now. Connor McKinney, a young man from Australia, has had quite a day. Holed out twice. He's 1 shot back. And good way to finish. While we have a moment, let's go down to Amanda Balionis.
Here with Bo Jin. And Bo, what was the difference today, a bogey-free 6-under round compared to yesterday? What was the improvement?
I think I just made a couple more putts, and I just had a pretty good run going yesterday too. The 18 was nice. I only double 9 because of a couple really small mistakes which lead to a 6. But I thought I played better today, or like somewhere similar, just that I make a couple more putts and got lucky on the green too. So.
Hey. Sometimes they say it's better to be lucky than good once in a while, but you were playing phenomenally today.
Thank you.
Obviously, we have to think about your older brother who has won this event before. What do you remember from him winning this event? And is he someone that maybe you'll call for a little bit of advice as you try to get it done for the family, keep it in the family?
I mean, I definitely want to try to keep it in the family, but it's not an easy thing to do out here. And getting advice from him is a really often thing for me to do, like not only for this golf tournament, but mainly in golf or in life in general. And, you know, I'll see how it goes. If I can, I'll definitely try to keep it in the family. And when he won this event, it was pretty amazing because during that time, I didn't thought my brother's going to be playing the Masters. And I would be like, oh my God, I got a chance to go to Augusta too. So it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
If you win, will you be bringing your brother then to the Masters?
If he wants.
I have a feeling he's going to want to, Rich.
Yeah.
So the great round 64 today, his brother in winning in 2015 shot 62. It's the lowest score matched actually by this man a few years ago, Yushin Lin, lowest score ever at the Asia Pacific Amateur. Keep the scorecard clean. So Yushin with a bogey, and he'll drop to 3 under par, and now 5 back of his countryman Bo Jin.
Nakajima, remember his tee shot at right was obstructed by that tree, but did manage to get a second shot just short of the green, chip to here.
Frankie's scrambling today has been exceptional. You know, we've seen how good he struck it yesterday, but he's scrambling, if this goes in, is extraordinary.
Extraordinary it is. And if you watch closely too, that left ankle is heavily taped, but I don't know if he's trying to sort of be secretive, but yesterday Colt Knost followed him around and said there's nothing wrong with it. But for an ankle that's got nothing wrong with it, that's a lot of tape.
Makes you look like a hardened athlete, right? Like a football player.
Well, then put one on the right as well. Now, this would be some 3 here for Choi at 18. It's a great second shot.
Okay, Sam Choi, 21-year-old from South Korea, who is a senior at the University of Mexico. New Mexico is his home now. 3-time All-Mountain West Conference selection, Sam Choi. And now McKinney.
It's actually 3 gutty pars because when he bogeyed 15, it looked like the wheels were almost going to come off him. He fought really hard 16 for par. It was a good 2 putts from long range at 17, and really it's a good 4 from the front edge.
And you saw him fist bump Puat Anu Pansubsai from Thailand. He's in with a terrific round of 64 as well, and after an opening 73 he plays his way into the championship.
Well, let's have a look at the 8th hole, because that's where Nakajima and Yushin Lin are heading. 194 yards, which would be fine if it was just green grass. The water, hopefully not in play for this heavyweight group. And Yushin Lin could do with a birdie right now, but it's going to take a great tee shot to attack that left hole location if he wants to get it close. There's been a few bogeys here as well for people that are a little wayward. There's just enough breeze right now, Paul Gow, to make this hole interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the breeze is jumping up and then dropping down. And this hole here, we've seen earlier today, was back into the breeze, and you could fly it all the way hit to the pin. I think they're going to have to hit it a little bit shorter. Down in the clubs, they were hitting 5-irons earlier. So I think they're into 7th now.
Just 6 birdies here today.
Well, it requires a high right to left shot.
He does like to draw it.
We're going with 7-9 here. 194 all the way to the bucket. Just drifting a little right, coming back on the pin. Oh, geez, he got it all the way there.
He seemed to like it when it was airborne. Stuck the finish.
Too solid.
And again, he'll have to scramble.
Now, the players without caddies this week, that's where a caddy would come in real handy with this type of shot. Just take a little bit off it. That wind's a little, just jumping up a little bit behind us.
Dola Patel. Yeah, that's quality shot for a 25-year-old from India. Yushin Lin trying to rebound off that bogey on the 7th hole.
Yeah, went back to his bag. I think he's taken out 8. And he'll give this a bit of a rip. He loves seeking pins, that's for sure. He's definitely hoisted that way up in the air. That's a great shot.
Oh, is it ever? Wow. Yushin, I love the way he fires those hips, Frank.
Oh, just took an absolute rip at the 8-iron. So finally something in the right direction. That will be for his first birdie of the day. So it's perhaps the spark that sort of gets this round going in the right direction.
And he came in as the defending champion. There's our intrepid reporter Paul Gao down there with Yushin Lin.
He just hammered the 8-iron because he just saw the players he's playing with hitting 7. It was dodgy, so just take the shorter club. Ooh. Could not afford to miss it at all. And a firmer green, it might have gone in.
So, wondering how he would bounce back, he answered. Yeah. Again, he is trying to become the first 3-time champion of the Asia Pacific Amateur. Hideki Matsuyama has also won it twice. And let's go back down to Amanda.
Here with Connor McKinney, you just described that hole out on 13 as decent. We described it as much better than that. But overall, how do you describe your round?
It was pretty solid today. Got off to a pretty good start, I guess. 4 under for 9. Chipping in on 9 was a bonus, and hit some good shots and gave myself a lot of chances.
Calm, cool, and collected, Rich. Also, I've been told the mustache might be gone before the end of this weekend. Breaking news.
Don't know why he would do that, as we happen to like it. So we're coming to the end of our allotted time. And Frank, impressions of day number 2.
Well, I really want to know why the mustache would go because the way in which he played. But no, 64. The Jin brothers. I mean, they're trying to do it, but different league.
By the way, if he tried to grow the mustache and the beard, we might be here for another 7 years.
It's a good days of golf, too. I mean,
you just get the sense Yushin Lin is ready to break loose, and Keita Nakajima as well.
Well, these guys are going to have to do something, too, because the score has been posted. 8 under leads and that at the moment. So they certainly are lacking breathing room right now. They've got to step it up.
The other guy to keep an eye on is Puat Anupansubsai from Thailand. Opening 73, but he came back to match Bo Jin with a 7 under 64. So it's shaping up to be a really good one for the entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now from the 12th playing of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship from Dubai.